Fads are the kiss of death. When the fad goes away, you go with it. Loom bands, flash mobs, and variations thereupon. This can't last much longer, but for now, it's modern escapism. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Oodles, the Von Dutch baseball cap of podcasters, and today I am joined by... Is he gold and white or blue and black? It's Biggie.
Good evening.
Do you get what I mean with the dress? Yeah?
Yeah. I'm not wearing a dress.
Also, the creator of the Harlem Shake, it's Stig.
Hello.
And finally, he wouldn't even consider leaving the house without wearing Crocs. It's Gadget.
How dare you assault my sartorial sensibilities?
You know you love Crocs.
Fucking hate them.
Before we start proceedings this week, Gadget has a special announcement. Take it away.
Okay, so we've joked about this over the past kind of year or so that we've been doing this, but it's happening, folks.
Uh-oh.
We're doing it. We're launching a Patreon.
Fuck.
Yes. 1st of June.
You don't have to pay for it, dude.
I was going to say, yeah, you don't need to pay anything.
All right. Are we getting worried?
Don't tell him. We can maybe extra.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss out.
No, yes, 1st of June, we are launching our Patreon. We've had a few people asking about it and asking when we're going to do it. Shockingly enough, apparently some of you want to give us your money, so we're going to very happily take it.
Idiots.
We wanted to do a Patreon in a very fair way. We didn't want to, come across as gouging or greedy or anything like that. We didn't want to do anything that would take away from the current experience that you have. So what we're doing is everything's going to be additional. So we have 3 tiers. 2 of them are at $5 a month. We have the Modern Escapees tier, which is for Modern Escapism. And for that, for your £5 a month, you will get an exclusive Patreon podcast episode.
What?
And oh yes, I'm gonna make his work, man.
Oh no.
And the audience is going to get extended versions of the main podcast.
No way.
Because if you're dedicated enough to send us your £5 a month, you're going to get more of us, whether you want it or not.
I'm not sure I can extend anymore.
No. We'll get you a podcaster's equivalent of Viagra. You'll be fine. The other tier that we're putting forward is the Scorched Sheep tier, which is for Do Dragons Dream of Scorched Sheep, which launches on the 4th of June. For that one, so we made a conscious decision for Modern Escapism. We didn't want to put advertising on it. We're not doing that for Scorched Sheep. That's going to be a different one. So when we're able to, we're going to be enabling ads on that feed. So for your $5 a month, you will get ad-free versions of Do Dragons Dream of Scorched Sheep. You'll also get early access to the episodes, so you'll get them 2 or 3 days before the main feeds get them. Also, any battle maps that I make or artwork that Candy Machine makes, you'll get that as part of in the Patreon feed. And you'll have the ability to suggest names for NPCs and item names and descriptions, no matter how silly, ridiculous, or offensive they may be. It's obviously up to me whether we use them or not, but you can suggest them.
The Dungeon Master has all the power.
Well, exactly, yes. I mean, why else would I be a dungeon master? I want the power. But if you like both, or you want to support us, or you're an idiot, no, you're not an idiot, you're a wonderful person, because you can pick the Biggie Bundle, which is £7.50 a month. It's both feeds, and it's all of those bonuses that I just detailed. So, and that's just £7.50 a month. So,
and you
get personally deliver them to.
I
your
was
house.
just about
to say you get Biggie's seal of approval, a digital kiss that you can't redeem anyway. It's a non-fungible token.
Yep, exactly. We also have a few stretch goals on it. I'm not going to go through all of them. There's about 4 or 5 of them there, but I'm just going to highlight a couple of them. So if we reach the lofty goal of £150 a month coming in, we will put together Patreon exclusive watch-along content. So we will find a video or a film or something like that, and as a group we will watch along with it.
We'll finally get Stig to watch Die Hard 5.
That's the goal. The first one is going to be
every week.
5.
Every week.
No.
And the three of us are going to sit in silence and listen to Stig hate his life for 2 hours.
Because it's so fucking shit.
I'm out.
At £500 a month, we are going to have we're going to change Do Dragons Dream of Score Cheap into a video podcast as well. So we'll all look lovely and we'll get costumes and all that. But every week that will come out as a video.
And just to let you know, I do dress up every week anyway.
Yeah, he does. I mean, the Carmen Miranda wig is fantastic this week. I've got to say.
Thank you.
And I've just realised how fucked I am in trying to find a dragon outfit.
And the last one I'm going to highlight, because this is the one that a few people mentioned should happen, and it is going to happen if we hit the stretch goal of £200 a month. We are going to do a recording and a podcast reading of Hans Baby, Oodles' Die Hard spin-off.
Yeah, after Gadget's proofread it.
Yes. And corrected the spelling, made it make sense. But yes, we'll be putting that together as a podcast thing. So yeah, the Patreon goes live on the 1st of June. There'll be another announcement just in the feed on this one and the Scorch Sheep feed when they go live. And obviously the link will be on the socials and in the episode notes when it's up there. But yeah, 1st of June, come one, come all, bring your wallets. And like I said, we have the 3 tiers, £5, £5, $7.50. If you want to give more than that, you're very welcome to. You do not have to, but we will gladly accept anything that you want to give us.
And that's really important as well, because if people don't want to pay for the Patreon, they still can hear the show. So
yeah,
exactly. You just get all that bonus additional stuff, so nobody gets hurt.
Can I also add as well with the bonus episode, that's be a minimum of at least one special.
Yeah,
because I might get more because I've got ideas and stuff I'd like to do, and I'm going to have to edit those as well. So it's on me to So if I want to do these extra ones, then it's all on me and not on Gadget. So
which is also nice to see Stig flourish. Yes. Everyone wants to see that.
Yeah. But if you go in at the biggie bundle, that's a guarantee of at least 7 podcasts a month.
Fuck! Do I have to do 7 podcasts a month?
You don't have to.
I mean, I will.
We can do it without you.
No.
Some would say they would be better without you.
Most.
Oh, boo.
And that's the £10 top tier to not have oodles.
To get me off.
That's just like our regular episodes, but just him muted.
It can be done. I will be replaced by AI.
Yes. Anyway, that is the Patreon announcement that people have been so keen on. So,
anyway,
yes,
enough
excited about that.
Corporate gubbins. I want to know what Biggie's been up to this week.
I've watched 2 movies, 2 very different ones this week. No gaming again. It's a bit sad. But the first one I wanted to talk about very, very briefly because talking about it too much will ruin it.
Oh.
But it's a film that I came across via somebody mentioned it in a horror thread in Twitter. And I'd never heard of it. It's called Terrified.
It sounds terrifying.
Came out in 2017. The actual title is in Portuguese, which I won't pronounce. So it's for us over here, it's called Terrified. And to give very little away, it's about paranormal researchers investigate some strange events in a neighborhood in Buenos Aires. It was written and directed by the same guy, Demian Rugna. And yes, it's one of those foreign horror films that's really fucking good.
Yeah, better than any other.
I really enjoyed it. The chills are there, the scares. It's gory when it needs to be, but it's not over the top. Really, really enjoyed it. There is a trailer. It's a very short trailer, so it doesn't really give a lot away. But yeah, really, really enjoyed that. Really glad I came across that one.
So are you saying that in this foreign horror film, there was something strange going on in the neighborhood? They didn't call the Ghostbusters.
Do you know what?
That was the first mistake.
I was suddenly like, yeah, that actually makes that makes sense. But yeah, it's a lot darker. Then I found something that I've never watched before, and that is Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
love that film.
First time I've seen it. I don't know how I've missed this somehow. Yeah, that is a movie.
Thoughts?
It certainly is.
For those that don't know anything about it, it's directed by and stars Ben Stiller with Robert Downey Jr., Jack Black, Jay Baruchel, I'm going to say, and Brandon T. Jackson, among many others. But it's a parody. It's a film crew shooting a big budget war movie, and they're forced to become real soldiers they are portraying when they're attacked by a gang of poppy-growing local drug dealers due to mistaken identities. So you have Ben Stiller playing your average action hero. You got Robert Downey Jr. playing the typical Oscar chaser actor. Jack Black is your typical funny guy. But the standout is obviously, for those that know about the movie, is Robert Downey Jr. playing an actor who, in the movie, went under the knife to be pure for his role, to have pigment implants so that he could black up for the film. And I appreciate nowadays that's a bit of a controversial subject, but the way it's portrayed in the film is just on that right level. I think that shouldn't be offensive because it's meant to be awkward the way he does it in the movie, but he's very funny with it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those few things that obviously after the past couple of years, I think it still might get a pass because he's pretty much roundly condemned for it throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
he's playing up to Hollywood's though as well, isn't it? He's playing to that.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a line in it where someone says like, "You're a white Australian man playing a black American man, trying to play this, that, and the other in the jungle. Like, what's going on with you?" It's the most ridiculous thing in the world, but he plays it so well. He's
so funny and he's really good.
He gets some of the best lines as well.
And he is almost, and I would do so almost, overshadowed by the appearance of Tom Cruise, who has a somewhat small role in the movie, shall we say. But it really needs to be seen to be believed.
Look at his hands. Have you seen his hands in it? It's got really big
it's
fat hands.
the beer gut that he's got. You never expect to see
Did
Tom
anyone
Cruise with a beer gut.
think that was Tom Cruise when they first saw it?
No.
No.
Now
It took me a while to click on.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, that sounds like Tom Cruise. And it wasn't until there was a point where he smiled and you saw the middle tooth. I was like, it's fucking Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
It's a lot of makeup.
It's one of those ones where you're just like, to start with, I had no idea. And eventually it clicks and you're like,
it's like it's someone you know, but it just takes you half an hour to be like, it's Tom Cruise.
Matthew McConaughey's in it as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey's in it.
Sorry, Matthew McConaughey. Sorry.
Matthew Mahogany. You got right at the beginning of the movie as well, once you have your usual, whoever's producing the movie comes up, and then it launches into 3 trailers, which are parodies of just trailers that you have anyway, and they're all played by all the individuals in the movie.
One
and
where
it just sets
Robert
the
Downey
tone.
Jr. is a monk.
In Forbidden Love. Yeah. I mean, it's just amazing. So good. But yeah, do you know what? I loved it. I thought it was really good. It certainly has quite a few misses with some of the jokes. I think it, at times, couldn't quite decide whether it's trying to be a parody or a bit of a comedy drama for a moment. It just has these little bits in the movie where it doesn't quite hit right. I don't think Jack Black is all that funny in it, myself personally.
I think it hits how Ben Stiller kind of is as an actor. Sometimes you don't know whether he's trying to be funny or smart with Ben Stiller when he's acting. So it's the same with his directing, I feel. It's like you can kind of conceive it in different lights.
But if you haven't seen it, check it out. It is funny.
It does remind me of films 10 years prior to when it existed. It's a bit more early noughties than when it is.
Yeah, it's got a late 90s edge to it.
It really has, yeah. It really has. But I've only seen it once, and when it came out, so I've not watched it since. I don't know how it hit me nowadays. But yeah, I remember liking it. Excellent. So is that all you've been doing?
That's it, dude.
And then after watching them 2 films, you just stared at the wall for a week.
I've been sitting here the whole time waiting for Sunday to come around.
So, Stig, what you been doing, pal?
I've been carried on watching more Harley Quinn. Really enjoying that.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
I forgot to mention last week when I was talking about it. I brought it up in our Discord, but the Bane character, I just want to touch on him quickly. He is incredible in that. Like, even if you have like no intentions of watching the show, just kind of look up Bane's best bits. They have him talking like Tom Hardy from Dark Knight Rises. So he's just like, talk like this. And he's like a man-child, and he's so clumsy, and all he cares about is blowing things up, and everything is his reckoning. He's like, this coffee is my reckoning. It's like, it's absolutely brilliant.
I watched that Best of Bane thing that you put into the Discord, and it was obviously I've not seen the show, I have no context to it, But the opening clip where the coffee barista's deliberately getting his name wrong, and then it's like it seems to be this whole subplot for the episode that he's going to bomb this coffee shop just to get back at Todd.
Yeah, my name is not Bang, it's Bane.
It's weird though, because
just very quickly on that subject, when the movie came out, I just thought, could you imagine being at the premiere for that and everyone just sitting there going, I can't fucking hear a word.
I saw it the day it came out.
It's so weird.
I liked it.
Such a weird. I've got the idea again what they're trying to do, but
it's weird because in the comics, Bane's like a luchador. He's like South American.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
So he looks like that in Harley Quinn. He looks like the normal Bane character, but they've given him that Tom Hardy voice.
It's so odd.
So other than that, I don't know if you talked about it on the show or not, Oodles, or was it just in our Discord, but I watched Greenland.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Mm.
Yeah, it was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it surprised me. It's one of my favourite disaster films since the disaster film resurgence, basically.
It's a bit more serious, isn't it? Like, it's not as stupid as 2012 or
it's when I talked about it on the show because I said Jerry Butler should be Joel from Last of Us. He should be that, because in this film, that's who he is, basically.
It's, I remember you saying it's quite stressful, and there are parts where it was just like, it's this really stressful, and it's like...
Especially if you've got kids.
Yeah, it's done really well. It's not amazing, but it was enjoyable.
You can see the budget restraints.
Sit down and, if you want to sit down and watch something one night when you don't know what to watch, that's on Amazon Prime. We enjoyed it. It's it does disaster movies really well, I think, especially from a family side of things, and it had me and Kate talking about it at the end of it, about what would you do if you were selected and you had to leave everyone you know behind, because
it's got that typical trope of the end of the world lottery. And that's to me, that's one of the most stressful fucking things imaginable.
There's a part when they do leave to go that's like absolutely heartbreaking, and it was just like, Kate was just like, Jesus, like that was just so awful. Like, it was decent. Watch it if you know.
I liked it, and I did not see. I'm not saying there's a twist ending, but I didn't see the ending coming as it came. It's my favourite type of disaster, very similar to Deep Impact, where the disaster actually happens. It's not a spoiler either. That's in the trailers.
I'm glad you have favourite disasters as well.
I like disaster films when it happens. Like, I remember Armageddon. Genuinely, no one really dies, do they? So apart from Bruce Willis,
no, a lot of the drillers died.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I know, but I like it when when
they're realistic with what happens.
It's realistic,
because obviously Deep Impact and Armageddon came out within a year of each other, and Deep Impact was significantly more realistic,
and better,
and didn't get all the praise. And also Morgan Freeman as the president. Yes, please.
Absolutely.
I didn't like. Actually, the fucking hell, my mind's gone.
You need some dragon soup in your life.
Oh yeah, I do. No, I remember. Fucking hell, I don't know what's going on with me. Sorry.
Top podcast content here.
It is, yeah.
This is what you'll get with your patrons.
The subplot about the marriage being broken.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't needed. It's totally pointless. Didn't add anything to the narrative. Didn't add anything to them. The way they acted were like they were together, and I was just like, what's the point in this? Why are they kind of dwelling on this. It makes no sense, like, regardless. And it also actually got me thinking as well, with, like, if this, because this is a thing that could happen, I just got me wondering, like, do governments around the world have this contingency for all this?
I think they do, yeah. I think...
do you know what I mean? Like, because in that film, they're expecting the comet to just fly by, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, it's going to hit. But they have all these underground bunkers ready, and I'm like, they would not have time to set these bunkers up if, like, because it happens like right at the last minute. It's like, shit, we realise that this is not going to.
I've listened to
fly by, so
a few podcasts about this, and you can find these documents online and stuff. It's out in the public now, but America's got 2, like 1 million people bunker. Geneva's got 1. Greenland's got 1. Do you know what I mean? A lot of countries do have these infrastructure. It's not necessarily for a meteor. It's more nuclear. Do you know what I mean? It's more man-made kind of thing. But yeah, these bunkers exist. They've got sustainable ecosystems, or potentially sustainable ecosystems. It's terrifying, man. Because they wouldn't have us, podcasters. We wouldn't be necessary.
No, it just got me and Kate.
Speak for yourselves. I've got something different in writing.
Biggie, you're probably going to get invited anyway. You're probably going to get your choice of bunkers. Which one do you want to go in?
Which bunker?
Which wing do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was all right. It was a good film, and like I said, it got me and Kate talking about stuff afterwards about things as well. That was the main thing. Sorry to
no, it's fine. Keep going.
Castlevania.
So good.
Yes.
Season 4. I haven't finished it yet. My intention was to finish it for this podcast, but I decided to watch it late, and each time, the last 2 nights, I've just fallen asleep.
You're terrible.
But that is nothing. That's nothing on the show, because the show is absolutely brilliant.
It is.
It's basically a spin-off of the Castlevania games
That you've never played.
No, I've never played. I think it throws quite a few of the different characters from the games into it, doesn't it?
Yeah, from different games.
Yes.
It mainly centers around Trevor Belmont, Alucard, and Cypher Bernardis.
Bernardis, yeah.
Bernardis, yeah. It mainly centers around them 3, and then there's a host of like other things going on. Like you'll follow like baddies and their stories and things like that, like Isaac, Hector, and Carmilla, Dracula,
Sanjaman.
Yeah, but it's really, really good. Like the writing is really good. The animation is amazing. The soundtrack is great. It is so bloody and gory. Like if you don't like blood and guts and gore, don't watch this. It's not particularly scary. There's a lot of demons and monsters and stuff in there, but it's not scary. It is more if you're squeamish about things. Yeah, because they don't hide
the
away.
game's nothing like that at all, is it?
In a way, it is. If you play them,
the originals weren't. I wouldn't.
The
say maybe
visuals weren't.
The last
No.
ones. That's what I mean. It's just kind of what it's based on, I guess.
There's only so much you can do with 18 and 16-bit graphics, though, isn't
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah,
8 and 16-bit, rather.
It's really good. I mean, do you know what? I think if this show was live action, it would get talked up a hell of a lot more.
yeah.
Like if this was,
it's got that it's anime, it's for the nerds kind of thing, doesn't it?
if this was real people, but it done exactly the same, so you got the same level of like writing and gore and like special effects, people would absolutely be crazy about it. But
It's got-
But you know what would happen if someone commissioned it for a real world series? It will go to Benioff and Weiss from Game of Thrones,
and it wouldn't have an ending.
Yeah.
It does have the one of the best casts ever. It's got Richard Armitage, which I'd let him read any book to me. I don't know if you've listened to any of his audio books that he narrates. He is incredible. What a voice actor. It's got what's his name? Shaun of the Dead's dad.
Bill Nye's in
Bill
it.
Nye's
Jason,
in it.
Jason Isaac's in it. Lance Reddick's in it.
Yeah, it's so good.
And a whole load of other people you might know of, but I think those are the 4 main ones that people might know of. But yeah, it's really, really, really good. The only thing I don't like about it is one thing, or 2 technically, is that Cypher and Trevor have this really annoying strand of hair in the middle of the head.
That's anime, mate. That's anime.
It really annoys me. I have this
Get
one
into
perfectly placed strand of hair, and I constantly just want to reach in and just pluck it out of their head. It just looks stupid.
Do
I
not
don't know
watch
why.
Dragon Ball. Literally, they've all got
Like,
that.
I know in these shows everyone's hair is.
It's because you're used to One Punch Man and he's got no hair
and everything. But it's just for some reason they just have this one strand of hair, and it's just like it's really annoying. It's really off-putting. But other than that, like the show is spectacular.
It's so good.
I would watch it if you are into animation.
It's so quick as well. I smashed the full season last.
half-hour
night.
episodes,
Just watched the whole
so
thing.
they don't drag. And some of the action scenes are absolutely incredible. There's one, I think, in the church towards the end of season 3.
Yeah,
it's just incredible. It's like one of the best things, like fights you'll see on TV. It's so well done.
It is. Yeah,
I intend to finish that off probably tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, you won't be. Yeah, it's one of those rare programs that I'm not going to spoil anything. It's got a great ending. I was very happy with how it ended.
And this is the thing about the fact that they're new. It's 4 series.
Yeah,
this is your last one. You get an ending. Like so many shows that just drag on and drag on and drag on and then just get cancelled or stopped. Yeah. Like you're left without an ending. When this is the good thing about it's 4 series, you get a good ending. Like enjoy your 10 episodes a series, half-hour episodes. Yeah. Brilliant.
Some episodes are 25 minutes, aren't there? Some of the quicker ones. Yeah. Really good. Yeah. Love it. Excellent. Gadget. You've been doing?
So I finished Resident Evil 8.
You did, finally.
Very good. Very enjoyable.
Good time.
Well, I had things to do, like podcasts to edit.
Oh, yeah, there is that.
Yeah. Not to lay about like you drinking your dragon soup.
A dosser.
Yeah.
I do have a job, by the way, a real life job. Don't think I am a dosser. And if you are a dosser, there's nothing wrong with dossers.
There's an episode title. There's nothing wrong with dossers. No, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I didn't. Still not going into spoilers. I didn't so much like kind of the last main area of the game. Mostly out of like I liked what it was trying to do, but I just didn't like how it did it. Like the level design is a bit much. I think
it's a juxtaposition, isn't it?
It is, and like I said, I get what they were trying to do with it, and it's like every section of the game is like a different style of horror, and I like that. I think it did it really well, but I just didn't like the level design of the last area.
I know what you mean.
But it also had kind of the best baddie in it, and I really liked Heisenberg. I thought he was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, he's the new Wesker in my book.
Yeah, he had some of the best dialogue. Yeah. Wraps up the story quite nicely. Lots of moments where I was sitting there going, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then, "Oh wow, that was really good." And it basically just leans into how fucking weird Resident Evil's gotten.
Yeah. What about the last half hour law book Aki that you got?
Yeah, that I didn't like. I thought that there's a lot of the kind of the bits of the story that link to the kind of the full Resident Evil arc and canon.
Spaffed in your face at last minute.
Yeah, like you walk into a room at the end and like there's like you walk around this big room in kind of a U shape with there's tables and there's just like kind of photos that you look at and diaries that you look at and they're just arranged neatly for you to go one by one and look around them. I think you could have sprinkled that throughout the game. That didn't need to be done that way. It's just kind of like they got to the end of the game design and went, oh shit, we forgot to link this to 7. Here you go.
Yeah. It literally does feel like that. It's satisfying, but it's a bit intense. It's all at once. It's like, what? Fuck. It's like slapping you in the face.
It's a lot to take in. But yeah, I like what they did with the story. It was fun. And made a few things from 7 make a bit of sense.
And it's
as well.
the middle of the Winters trilogy, so we've got a definite end leading up, haven't we? So
yeah, and of course with the way they've been doing the logos and the names, that I expect the next one to be called Phoenix or Helix or something like that. So they've got the IX in there for
solid
9.
guess.
How long's it been since 7?
2 years.
4.
No,
no. This is 7 was released in 2017.
Oh yeah, but they wanted to do a Resi every year, didn't they? Just different ones.
Yeah, and they did the remakes for the last few years.
Yeah, that was it.
So yeah, 7 was 2017. So it's been about 4 years since that one. I think this was put back because of the pandemic as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think this was supposed to come out last year because the game refers to it's been 3 years since what happened in Louisiana is the dialogue that comes up in the game. So I think they intended to get this out last year, but obviously didn't manage it. But yeah, if another 3 years to put out Resident Evil 9, fantastic, cracking, really enjoyed it. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was a game that I just bought yesterday, which is going to be, so I don't have a great deal to talk about, but it is going to be my main thing. It's called Demeo, and it's on the Oculus Quest and Steam VR. It is a virtual reality tabletop dungeon crawler.
Of course it is.
In the D&D style, and it's fucking amazing. It's so good. There isn't a story to the game or anything like that, other than some kind of bog standard fantasy backstory bullshit. Fine, don't care. It's the gameplay is king in this one. And what you have in the virtual world is you're looking down over a tabletop of a dungeon that's been mapped out, almost as if you'd gone to like a hobby shop and bought like the bits to make a dungeon for a tabletop game, like the plastic walls and all that. But it's all laid out in front of you. You can choose between one of 4 classes. So there's a fighter, there's a mage, an assassin, and a ranger with a bow.
No bards.
No, not yet. But you drop into this world. Your character is basically a physical piece that you pick up and put down, but he's animated. There's monsters coming at you, and there's one campaign at the minute where you've got 3 floors to work through. Each floor gets you further and further down the dungeon. In each floor, you have to find the big monster, which has the key to the next level. You have to kill him, take the key, fuck off. Basically it. Everything's turn-based, so you are moving around like a board game. You have, when you flip over your arm, you get like a run of like the like Hearthstone cards with your abilities on them. So like a little bit, yeah. So whether it's like magic abilities or healing or fire your bow or certain attacks, that kind of thing. And you've just got wave after wave of monsters coming at you, and you have to find the key. But what I like most about it, and it's why it works so well in VR, you manipulate the table from above. You can drag it where you want it, so you can see whatever. or you can zoom right in and be on a 1-to-1 level
Oh.
and look through the dungeon. It's fucking great. And the art style is very much, the reason why I kind of referred to Hearthstone is the art style is very much like that Blizzard art style, where it's kind of that chunky fantasy style.
Yeah.
So it looks beautiful. I mean, I'm running it just on the Quest. I'm not even running it off my PC, and it's one of the best looking games I've
So are
played.
you saying like Diablo 3, World of Warcraft type?
Yeah,
thick,
that kind of
thick
art style.
goblins rather than ugly goblins.
Right.
Cute.
Yeah, basically. Although to be fair, some of the monster designs are fucking horrific.
Cool.
The Elven Queen is a terrifying creature. She's like 15 foot tall and looks horrendous.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, she will fuck you up.
Lady Dimitrescu.
Yeah.
Oh no. When you see her, you're not going to get horny for her. Trust me.
You don't know what I'm into.
I don't want to know what you're into, fucking Thatcher. That's called a callback, folks.
I like women in power.
Yeah, but it's just so much fun. You play it online, so you play in a group of 4. So obviously you can play with your friends if you've got friends on Oculus, but because I'm a nerd, I don't have any friends on Oculus. So I've been I've been playing quick play with other people, and I was playing with a few lads in South Carolina last night.
Nice.
And
For them, it was the afternoon.
Yeah, it was the afternoon. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning for me, and they're quite happily drinking it up on a Saturday afternoon. And there was one of them actually called Billy Bob, which I thought was really, really funny. Just shouting back to his brother in the background who didn't have his mic on, but he was playing on another quest. And yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed the games.
Sounds mint.
It's a nice meaty game to get into because there's a lot of kind of mechanics in the background. You have to really understand your build or kind of the cards that you've got and the options. It can get really hairy. I dropped into a game this afternoon where one of the players had dropped out, so I got dropped in kind of halfway through the match. So you always drop in at the same place in the map every time there's like a starting door. And because of how their game had gone, when I appeared, there were like 10 enemies around the door because the enemies were chasing them around, like moving in to follow them around the dungeon, and they just happened to all be by the door. So I got ganked on the first turn. I was like, oh, cheers for that. But no, it is really fucking good. It's a little content light at the minute. There's only the one campaign, so the 3 levels. But the dungeons, I thought they were generated every time you go into the map. Procedure generated, that's it. But they're not. It's basically the maps are the same, but it's the enemies that you face appear in different orders and different places.
It's a PC game. It'll be updated in next month. You know what they're like.
Well, no, they've already said there's another campaign coming out in the summer.
Nice.
And they're going to keep making updates for it. It's not in early access, but it's being treated like it's early access.
Yeah.
So and they've also committed to all the updates will be free for it.
Cool.
But to be honest, considering I paid $20 for it on the Oculus Store, I'm quite happy to fucking.
Do you know what
pay
I've
them
noticed
for
with
updates.
the Oculus and a lot of these like experimental technologies? Yeah, you might pay $400 for the set, but the games are so fucking cheap.
Well, yeah, I mean, every game I think the most expensive game I bought on Oculus was Synth Riders, and that was at $22.99.
That's nothing though, is it?
Yeah, and I'm quite happy to pay for these kind of little experimental ideas where I'll get like 8 hours out of it, and if they never update it, fine. But it's enjoyable time. But this is genuinely one of the best things I've played in VR.
I'm into it,
mate. Really
proper.
It's really fun. It's not too demanding on your mind. It's not too demanding on your setup. Like the requirements to play it on the PC are really low. And it fucking looks great on Oculus, even just running that.
Do you reckon they'll do a
natively,
non-VR version, or is it kind of?
It needs to be in VR.
The main thing of it.
Plus, you've got X amount of dungeon crawlers on PC and console anyway, like stuff like Diablo and Torchlight and stuff like that. This is like something where it just gives you that tabletop experience.
Yeah,
and I mean, even like when you look away from the tabletop, you're in a kind of a virtual 1980s American basement.
Oh, lovely!
There's a big old chunky
Big
TV
wood
there, and
paneling.
kind of like fake. Yeah, like fake rock and roll posters around the place, and that. Oh, it's so good. It's one of those like really joyful VR experiences. A bit like when I played Half-Life Alyx, and I was just giggling like an idiot. It's just like it's one of those things. It's just it reminds you of why this technology is so good, and why, despite Facebook owning Oculus and doing Facebooky things to it, it's a good thing that the Quest 2 has been so popular because it's proving there is a market for this stuff. It's not just enthusiast nerds that can get into this.
I loved my time with Quest. I know it wasn't the Quest 2, but the Quest 1, it was absolutely sensational. It's another world. It feels like next gen. Do you know what I mean? It feels like the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and this game is one of the ones that definitely proves like how good the platform can be for something that for something that you can't do on a PC.
Yeah,
because like there's loads of tabletop simulators on Steam, and it's not the same as having the thing in front of you. Whereas this, you've got the thing in front of you, and you can zoom into it.
Yeah.
It's so good. So yeah, really get on Demeo. It's £22 on Oculus, and I think it's £23 on Steam. But just get it if you've got a VR headset. It's so worth it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. What have I been up to this week? I hear you scream. No. No. I'd be remiss if I didn't discuss last night, as of recording. I played Titanfall 2, guys. You saw how you watched me, didn't
usual,
you?
Finger on the pulse oodles there.
Yeah. Brand new game.
Playing a five-year-old game.
It doesn't fucking look like a 5-year-old game. I tell you.
No, it looks amazing.
Jesus Christ. I really enjoyed that.
I enjoyed watching you play it, considering I love that game.
I don't have to discuss in massive detail because you can just watch it on the VOD. But I'm back to streaming, and it's kind of reinvigorated me. I had a bias for first-person shooters because I would never good at them, and I always used to get a bit motion sick. And I don't know what this game does that makes me not feel motion sick. But then I looked into it. I was looking on Reddit, and some people were saying it's to do with how heavy you feel when you land on the ground. It can keep your equilibrium in check because you do feel quite chunky rather than floating. But
do you really not play first-person shooters much? Because I'm just going to quickly say that your shooting was pretty good,
mate.
For someone that
don't
doesn't
own them.
Play them.
I don't play them.
What,
pretty good.
Just out of curiosity, what difficulty were you playing on?
It put me on recommended after doing the gauntlet. No, not recommended.
Okay.
Regular.
Regular, normal.
Yeah.
Oh, because if you play on kind of the casual or easy modes on that one, it's got a very slight aim assist on it. Yeah. It doesn't on kind of regular and above.
It just put me on regular after I beat my own score on this gauntlet thing.
The gauntlet's great.
Oh yeah,
it's incidentally you should watch speedrunning videos for the gauntlet because the gauntlet itself is its own category in Titanfall 2 speedrunning.
Oh, is it?
Like people just try to beat. I think the current world record is just over 11 seconds.
I think this is what the latest Doom tried to do with platforming, and it didn't work. I don't think you can.
Yeah,
recreate
that,
this.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Apex Legends is like this.
Apex Legends has a little bit of it. It doesn't quite. You don't quite get to the same amount of speed that you do.
I felt
with,
like fucking Knuckles from Sonic 3. Do you know what I mean? But with guns. But it's really good. But yeah, I'll not bore you with that because you can just watch the VOD. I really enjoyed myself. I was in a good mood. I was drunk.
I did love that moment when you picked up the fiery ninja stars and you first used one, and the look on your face was incredible because you just picked it up as a ninja star. You thought, "Oh, this is just something to chuck," and then the guy caught fire, and he's like, "Oh,
it's a lava star!" It was incredible. But yeah, I'm really into big mechs, and I didn't realize you were in the mechs on this. I thought the mechs were just your buddies.
Oh no, you're in and out of them all the time.
Yeah, it makes you love the mech. BT, I think,
BT.
is it? Yeah,
BT,
it makes you love him, and when you're not with him, you're vulnerable.
Best robot, BT.
What boy BT is.
Yeah.
Did you play much of the multiplayer on your stream?
I had one 10-minute match, and I didn't come last, which is surprising. And I made some friends that you couldn't hear on the stream. I didn't realise, and I was talking to them, and they were all like 14-year-olds, and they were like, "Hey, how old are you?" I was like, "Oh, I'm 18," because I didn't want to feel like a weirdo. And they were talking about underage drinking, and I was like, "Oh, I don't drink, me guys." So you just hear myself talking to it while I'm drinking.
What was quite funny was he was just like, "This is a good place to stop, so I think I'll call it a night tonight." And then
I got raided
him. He got raided just as he was about to like turn his stream off. He's like, okay, we'll do some multiplayer then.
Yeah, I just clicked all the buttons. I just kept pressing A, so I didn't know what kind of match I was in. I was going multiplayer.
Love the multiplayer.
Multiplayer is so good.
Play's good. I've had some good
grappling,
tips
hooking
as well.
around and diving off walls. Like,
so what I'm going to do, I'm going to play it regularly.
When you get a grappling hook kill.
Oh yeah, I'm going to play it regularly, and I'm going to play the multiplayer, and then the stream I'm going to do the story because I'm very intrigued. But yeah, that's not the main thing I want to talk about. I have also been playing Mass Effect. I don't want to talk about it too much because Biggie gets upset. I finished the first one today. Took me 15 hours.
Fucking insane.
Well,
how did you do a 30-hour game since Friday?
You know what I'm like. I also finished.
It's that Dragon Soup.
I also finished Castlevania as well.
Fucking hell.
But I bet you were doing something else while you were watching that.
Yeah, I was multitasking, mate.
Yeah, exactly. I can't do that. I have to sit and watch. I want to sit and watch stuff.
But my main topic is something I did earlier in the week. I watched this.
Found your shoe?
No, I never found my shoe. That's still on the hunt. We're still on the lookout for that shoe. I'm probably just going to have to buy another pair of Adidas Sambas. It was an Adidas Samba, by the way, if you see that. Let me know. 40 quid-ish, so it's not really stupidly expensive. But yeah,
just been walking around at work with one shoe on.
Oh no, I don't wear trainers to work. I'm a professional. I wear nice shoes. But anyway, earlier in the week I watched something called the Brit Awards. You've heard of it?
Vaguely.
I watched this with my daughter because she's getting into music and stuff, and it made me feel really old. So it was hosted by this very aloof comedian. I forget his name. His dad's a bit of a Tory, and they go about travelling.
Jack Whitehall.
That's the guy. Yeah, very aloof. Nice boy. Nice boy.
His dad's a bit of a Tory.
He is. I've seen this show with his dad.
It's that description of it.
Yeah, he's a nice boy though. He means no harm. He was hosting it, and then there were just loads of people that I didn't have a clue who were. So what I've done today, I want to see how old you guys feel, and I've got 3 categories here. I've put a fake one in here, a fake artiste or singer-songwriter, and I want you guys to guess which one's fake. Are you ready?
Go on,
and
then.
this is for the listeners as well. So the first category I got was Breakthrough Artist. So the nominees are Young T and Bugsy, Arlo Parks, Bicep, Joel Corry, Shanti Demeo, and Celeste. Which one's the fake one, boys?
Well, Celeste's been around for ages, so it wouldn't
Can you
be
say that again?
Young T and Bugsy, Arlo Parks, Bicep, Joel Corry, Shanti Demeo, and Celeste.
I'm going for number 2.
Bicep. No, Arlo Parks.
No.
I'm going Bicep.
Gadget?
Shanti?
Shanti Demeo is the fake one that I put in there. So there is an artist called Arlo Parks and Bicep, which just made me feel super old. The next category.
What up? We're just 2 regular guys.
It's just a floating arm. The best male solo artist nominees are AJ Tracey, Heady One, Veneer Hessel, Jay Huss, Joel Corry, and Youngblood. Which one's the fake one?
The only one I know on there is Youngblood, so it's not there.
I didn't know any of them.
No idea, mate.
So, AJ Tracey, Heady One, Veneer Hessel, Jay Huss, Joel Corry, and Youngblood.
Veneer Hessel.
That sounds like a fake one, yeah.
Which one?
I'm saying first one.
Veneer Hessel.
Veneer Hessel is the fake one. Well done.
Yeah.
I'm really good at making these
looking around
names.
your room and look at the tabletop and stuff like that.
Yeah. And the last one is best female artist. So we've heard a few of these. So Arlo Parks, Kay Lai Jones, Celeste, I don't know how to pronounce this, Dua Lipa, Jessie Ware, and Liana La Havas.
I know Dua Lipa won it because that was all over
I
Twitter.
don't even know who that is. And I watched it and I still don't know who it is. So the fake one is Kay Lai Jones.
Kay Lai Jones.
Well, what I wanted to flag up mainly was the fact that I feel like an old bastard. I watched this and I was older than absolutely every single person there.
Have a look at the Leeds Festival lineup.
I've
Make
seen
it feel
it.
even worse.
It's shocking.
Yeah, a bit shocking because we look at it and go, who the fuck is half of these people? Like when I was going in the mid-noughties,
Foo Fighters.
I'm sure there's people who went to Leeds and Reading during the 90s and look at it and go, the fuck is Fall Out Boy? And yeah.
I mean, I've heard of Liam Gallagher and Queens of the Stone Age.
There is. I went through. I looked through and I was like, about 7 or 8 people
The
here.
headliners,
I recognize.
you always know the headliners.
Yeah, headliners. You know the headliners.
But yeah, it did this Brit Awards thing. It was so weird. It was one of the experimental events where they can have people in there. You know, they did one at football matches as well. And it was just so odd. I don't know anything about young people. All I know is how to feed them and keep them clothed and alive. But yeah, there's something wrong with my mind because none of it sounded like music, and I've finally turned into my parents. And that's what I wanted to flag up mainly. Yeah, I mean, I'm in my 30s. I'll never divulge exactly how old I am because I'm ashamed. But yeah, man, it was just. I don't recommend it. Don't watch the Brit Awards unless you're into that kind of scene. But It made me feel like if I were a Martian coming to Earth and stepping foot into something, I felt like a Martian watching it. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I did like the representation in the winners, though.
Yeah. I didn't understand the in-jokes. The jokes about TikTok and stuff.
Little Mix is the first female band to ever win it.
I've never even heard of them.
You never heard of Little Mix? Come on.
No, I've had
Little Mix. Come on, they've been around for 10 years,
Pick a
mate.
mix.
But yeah, I was surprised that when they were like, "Oh, it's the first female," I was like, "Surely the Spice Girls won it." Nope.
Yeah, first female group.
I listen. I'm very set in my ways. I listen to my music, so I've got my Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
I have Discover Weekly on, but it's all generally down to the algorithm of what I listen to.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff that comes through. But if I ever work in an office and someone's got a radio playing, it just destroys my mind because I have to listen to the same shitty tracks, especially if you're there doing like a 9 to 5 day. They're just on a fucking loop.
Yeah.
It's the same shit played throughout a radio. It's just, they all sound the same. It's awful. It's really bad.
This young lady,
Welcome to Dadcast.
This young lady, Dua Lipa or whatever she's called.
Dua Lipa is brilliant. So
she came on and she absolutely.
You can stop right now.
No, she were incredible. That's what I'm saying. She were incredible.
Yeah,
she sung live. She's beautiful. She's energetic. And my daughter was singing all this. I'm like, how do you fucking know this? You're 5. Do you know what I mean?
I sing Dua Lipa with my kids.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the talent because everyone that seemed to win, it sounded good, but I just feel like I'm out of my depth now, and I just need to give up.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll ever catch up. But yeah, that's what I've been doing this week. So
being a grumpy old man.
No, because I weren't pissed off about it. I was just more confused. I mean, again,
so confused old man.
Again, I was drunk watching it, which tends to be the way at the moment. But yeah, what's his name again? Biggie. Do you want to let everyone know what we've been doing? Fucking hell. I forgot your name. I'm drunk. I'm really, really drunk. I'm on my third suit.
So, Oodles.
Noodles.
This week, we're going to talk about fads. So it's about those things that came, blew up massively, and then within just a few short months, were discarded like yesterday's news.
Fads. Yeah, it's I think it's an American phrase, isn't it? Fads. When I was young, it was just trends. But yeah, fads. We're going to talk about all this, what happened. I don't know if the more personal to us are what we can remember, but we're going to start with Stig because out of all of us, he's the most hip and trendy. So we're going to see what he were into when he were younger.
Not hip and trendy. Not at all.
If that's the criteria, I've really fucked with my choices.
Do you know what, as well? I was talking to my brother yesterday as well, just before I start on this, and I was like, we were into a few things like fads and trends, weren't we? And he's like, yeah, but the problem was that like mum and dad would always like see it as a waste of money, so by the time it rolled around, a lot of them, it were too late. We'd miss the trend, or we're like right at the back end of it.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, guys, I've got my yo-yo now. It's like no one's
fucking
yo-yos anymore. Yeah. Or things like Adidas poppers. It's just like, can I have some Adidas poppers? And they'd be like, no, like you can have this 2-stripe brand, and you're like,
I think that's our fault for being northern. It's like in London they loved this 2 years ago.
Yeah. Do you know what the worst thing is though? Like as a dad now, I can completely understand why my parents didn't want to buy me like top of the range clothes because kids just shoot through them.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you don't want get me some Alessi poppers, please. I need them Alessi poppers.
Yeah,
you'll wear them for a summer, and then you'll be 10 foot tall. It's ridiculous.
So yeah, I hated the fact that I had like 2-striped poppers and stuff at the time, but now I completely understand.
Yeah, man.
Again, we're turning into our parents.
Oh God.
But the first one I want to talk about is a Digimon virtual pet.
Okay.
Anyone have one of these?
Nope.
No. So this was a bit of a spin-off of the Tamagotchi. So basically, but this one was marketed towards boys because rather than it being this cute little creature inside an egg, this was a monster.
Yeah.
You raised it to fight.
Now we're talking.
And you could fight against your friends with it. So it was one that you could actually interact with other people's virtual pets.
Oh, so it wasn't like single player. It was
No. So it had like a battle mode on it. So Digimon stands for digital monster.
Mhm.
And these had the little screen on it was very similar to is it Tamagotchi or Tamagotchi? Tamagotchi.
And actually, just to interrupt you here, because I did have a bit of feedback. I was going to leave this for the mailbag section, but this was personally sent to me by Monk's Boy over the text messages. And he says, "Can you start next week's pod ripping into Stig about his pronunciation of Tamagotchi? For whatever reason, that made coffee come out of my nose."
It's not his
when you
fault.
mentioned it in the socials last week.
It's not his fault. He lives in York. It's not his fault.
I was just thinking then, like, when have I ever said that? But like,
when I were a kid, don't worry, pal. They're all just called cyber pets.
Tamagotchi.
They're all called cyber pets. Don't worry about it.
I was too cool to have a Tamagotchi. I had one that fought, and beat up my friends.
So what did these creatures do?
So these had like obviously they're on the screens where it's just all little
calculator
black dots.
Screens.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And so what you did was you wait for it to you give it a name, and then you wait for it to hatch, and then
I bet you could only name it something like 5 digits, can't you?
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 digits long. Yeah, but yeah, you kind of trained it up so you would feed it either meat or vitamins, depending on what type of monster you wanted it to be. If you just piled it full of meat, obviously it would be a big, strong boy. Vitamins would be for speed and whatnot. And you could tell it when to sleep and when to wake up, and then you'd train it. So you obviously had different training things on there. So I think there was a boxing mode and a practice battle mode too. Like the better you did with your training, the more wins in your training, the higher ratios you got, and to increase the evolution of the thing.
Like Pokemon, it evolves into something else.
It basically is. It starts with one, and it had various different branches. So depending on what you fed it, how you trained it, what times you woke it up and everything, it would evolve into certain different types of Digimon. You also had to tell it when to poo.
You will poo.
Basically, you went to a little poo icon and it told you like how much poo it had, and you had to like release the poo, otherwise it would get sick and die.
Fucking hell.
Jesus. Dysentery.
Yeah, well, it's the same with the...
It was, you had to clean them up. You had to you had to clean them up, basically, otherwise they just got sick, didn't they? Yeah.
And the best thing about these was once you trained them up and got them to a perfect level, is that you could fight your friends with them. So each little handheld had a little metal connector on the end, and you put both both metal connectors together, and it created a link. And
it was on.
Once the link was made, you could pull them apart, and it had a little. I don't know how it worked. It's basically a little Wi-Fi signal between.
What it'll have been like some kind of memory thing on the actual watch battery or something.
No, but you fought in real time.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
then.
So
maybe
it must have been like you made the connection. You had to stay within a certain radius, but you didn't have to keep them together to fight. Yeah, and you fought your friends with them, and obviously you.
What was the aim of? Was it just racking up a score and saying, "Look, I've got 15 kills to 0."
Bragging rights.
Yeah, it was bragging rights, beating your friends,
being the hardest at school because your digital monster was the best.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, I think people who had digital monsters probably weren't.
Well, back of the bike shed crying.
Weren't considered the hard boys in the school, let's put it that way.
Give me your pocket money, otherwise I set my Digimon on you.
Yeah, but yeah, it was. They were just really good fun.
What I liked about these Tamagotchis and cyber pets and digital monster things, they weren't stupidly expensive. The barrier of entry wasn't ridiculous. Like I'm
£12 or something.
Yeah,
like
I'm assuming these Digimon weren't more than £20 back then.
No, like maybe £15 if I've 10 to £15.
Straight into Toys R Us, will have been at front. You'll have picked the one you want, and you're away.
But yeah, that was my that's my first one.
Excellent.
Digimon Virtual Pet.
So we'll move on to Gadget. I'm sure in Newcastle there must have been some absolutely silly fads.
I mean, one of the silliest fads, not one I was into, but I do remember when the Adidas poppers were out. That was one of the biggest.
I love how you
fads
say Adidas poppers. Adidas poppers, man.
Well, you're going to love what I'm going to talk about, because I told Pip before, and she just lost her mind with the way I say it in my accent. It was yo-yos.
Yo-yos.
Yours.
Yo-yos. For any international listener, he's saying yo-yos.
Yes. I say yo-yos.
Hello, yo-yo.
Yo-yos were a big thing when I was in year 7. So what, that would have been 11, 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were a huge thing in my school, and it was one of the things that at the time I just moved to that school. So I didn't have that many friends there to start with, obviously, because you've just moved school, you don't know anybody.
Exactly.
So when yo-yos hit, that was a good way to meet people and kind of like, you know,
Did you go up to people and go, hey, do you yo-yo? I yo-yo.
No.
And that's how you made friends.
I don't remember, but, you know.
That's true then.
Yo-yo.
Yo-yo.
Yo-yo. But yeah, obviously, the concept of a yo-yo needs very little explanation. It's a thing on a string that you throw down at the end of the string and roll it back up again. But there was something in the late 90s where they came out and they had these
ball bearings
centrifugal clutch. It was like centrifugal clutches,
yeah.
And so you could basically have it spinning for a little while at the end of the string and then whip it back
with LEDs.
Yeah, LEDs. You had ones that could make little noises and stuff like that. And
yeah, boy.
Like, I remember every kind of break time in the school, like there would be groups of like hundreds of people playing with them. Like it was one of those things where, unlike like stuff like Tamagotchis, where it was like a certain kind of person that would have them, and you'd have these very small cliques of people who would play with them. Nerds, yeah. Like everybody had them. Like even like the sporty kids had them. Like the cool kids had them, and you could always tell how well off someone's parents were, how fancy their yo-yo was, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There was a proper.
If you were that good, you could kill.
There was a proper good
it.
brand, wasn't it? I can't remember the brand now. And like, you need to get one of these yo-yos. These are the best. I think it was called like Clutch something.
So something like that. Yeah, there were quite a few of them. There was like Speed Pro or shit like that. Like, yeah, you got these like. I remember seeing it was like on Blue Peter or something like that. That had like professional yo-yoers in, and it was like that scene from The Simpsons where they're watching those kids with that yo-yoing dance troupe coming in, and like you know they're doing all these tricks, and like you sat there watching Blue Peter going, oh, these guys must be the coolest ever. Then you think, no, maybe they just get thrown in the back of a van to drive to the next school.
Here it
or
is,
something like
walking the dog around the world, the cradle.
Yeah.
What I could do like two things. Walking the dog, because that was piss easy.
Yeah.
So I had to do is literally drag it behind you. And the other one was like, you know, where you made a triangle and you made it like dangling in the middle. That's all I could do.
Yeah, that was better for me. And obviously around the world where you just swing it
and
around
whack
your head.
people with it.
I think I was fortunate where I went to one of those schools where they didn't get banned for someone getting a brain contusion from a yo-yo being whacked in the head. But yeah, they were just, I don't know, they were just really fun and stupid, and it was one of the more remarkably wholesome trends that I think people went on, because it was never a case of like people having jealousy over each other or them getting nicked or anything like that. Like one of the first trends I'd ever been aware of that I was into, but I don't really want to talk too much about it, was Pogs. And I remember there was always problems in schools where people's Pog collections getting nicked and shit like that.
Yeah, or getting a slammer in the face.
Yeah, stuff like that. Whereas, yeah, with yo-yos, there seemed to be just a bit more of a wholesome one. And I think possibly because, again, it was like, they weren't the most expensive things in the world, but they weren't exactly cheap either. So it was
it's
like
probably because 90% of people got the same type of yo-yo from the market, and you all had your £5 yo-yo, so no one needed to nick one or be horrible with it, because you all had the same. Apart from that one kid who had the best.
Yeah, there was one or two kids who always had the best ones. Everyone else, it was either from the market or from like a super tech shop or something like
Poundland.
That. Yeah. Or what? Do you remember those that you used to get them in like shopping centres? Those like tech stores.
Yes.
Yeah,
gadget shop.
You just get random. Not my shop.
No.
But yeah, just like random tat shops where you get that stuff. But yeah, I really enjoy playing with yo-yos. And there's been a couple of times, like as an adult, I think, I've seen them online for like a tenner. Maybe I should just get one and just have a play.
It's been a bit of a mini resurgence in the last few years, where they've created like triple clutch yo-yos that can spin indefinitely and stuff like that, and perpetual motion yo-yos and stuff like that.
Breaking the laws of thermodynamics.
I say bring it back. I'd love like a yo-yo circle. Do you know when like you've been at the pub, you've had one too many pints, and you're like, hey, don't bump into me, get outside, yo-yo off, let's do this, and everyone's gathering round. Rather than fighting and scrapping, you're all having a yo-yo battle. I think I'm up for that. I'm up for it.
Yeah.
It would make for a dramatic
If he did
sports
that in
movie,
real
wouldn't
life, we've yo-yo up and you'd be stood up there like that, going, you'd be like flicking your yo-yo up and down,
Yeah,
going,
getting ready.
and then just like, what the fuck is this dude? Like,
Yeah.
it?
You
Get
get elbowed in
stitched
the
up if
face.
someone breaks your little finger just before the event.
Worst version of West Side Story ever.
yeah, that's what I've
I
got.
can
Like,
still go on.
that's what I've got an image of it stood outside, like at West Side Story, like clicking his fingers while he's doing it, flicking his yo-yo up and down.
That guy's only got 4 fingers. Can you do it?
Yeah, I'm up for it. Bring back yo-yos, man. Bring it back.
Yeah, no,
Only the
they
clutch
were fun,
ones,
they were
though.
innocent. It was always a nice, satisfying clunk when the clutch kicked in and it
Yeah.
went back up to your hand.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing as well, you didn't need any skill to bring it back up to your
No, it
hand.
just
It just
did
did it by itself.
I remember once where I thought I was a bit of a yo-yo mechanic, and I was changing people's ball bearings on the playground like 50p a piece. So like, I'll sort your yo-yo out 50p. I've got loads of ball bearings that I've just bought from Cheap Shop, and I was putting new ball bearings. Didn't do anything because the ball bearings just allowed the clutch to kick in. Do you know what I mean? There's no like super ball bearing. It was
No.
it's just, I'm like, yeah, there you go. You'll be way better with your yo-yo now. And I used to make like 50p a go.
Imagine if that was today and you walked into school with a bag full of ball bearings.
Wouldn't be allowed near
Police
school.
would be on you in a second.
Yeah, he's here. Look, he's
Who
ball
wants
bearing
the
man.
ball bearings checking, kids?
Have a look in this sack. Oh God, no. So
Yeah, yo-yos.
we'll go on to me because it kind of reminds me of what I was like when I was a youth. This is a local fad that we had, so you probably never.
Cocaine.
No. Not when I was a kid. Maybe when I was a bit older. This local fad, it had 2 names. The first name was twigging. That was the most common name for it in all around Pontefract area, and the other name was papering up. I'll explain to you what it is because it's probably something different where you guys live. This was the act of stealing porn magazines from shops using a newspaper. So you put the porn magazine inside the newspaper and then basically selling individual pages. And the reason it was called papering up or twigging is because you went up to some unsuspecting gentleman in the playground and said, I've got a magazine and I've got some good pages. If you give me 50 pence or £1, I'll tell you where it is, where I've hidden this page, inside a bush or between twigs. And I ended up becoming the twigging expert, the man. I was like Red from Shawshank Redemption. I was the man that could get things at school.
The fucking porn baron of junior school.
Yeah. So I used to go to the local corner shop off license. His name was Trevor, so it was Trevor's. We used to go to Trevor's and hey, hello Trevor, I'm just getting my mum my mum over the newspaper. Quickly put the Razzle magazine inside the newspaper. Here's 20 pence. I'm out of there. I've got like 65 pages now to sell. That's 50 pence a page. That's pure profit, isn't it? You know what I mean? So at one point, I had enough to buy myself a Game Boy Color. What else did I get? I got a go-kart from Toys R Us. You know, a proper go-kart. Twigging and papering up. It was a big deal. Right? Did you not do anything toward the like?
No. I mean,
No,
even
I've slipped the magazine into a newspaper because I was embarrassed about buying the dodgy.
When you were an
I've
adult?
definitely done that. No, but not when you've done that.
Yeah, I was a bit of a
after.
Del boy when I was a kid. I was always the next scheme.
the closest thing I've come to it is literally walking through the wood and just seeing a lot of porn mags strewn about.
Well, we don't live
everywhere.
too far away. It was probably one of mine.
No,
Now
no,
they're
no.
USB sticks left in the woods.
But yeah,
Maybe that's what it is. I've left a lot. Someone had just.
that led into my entrepreneurial spirit, where I wasn't making enough, and there was a risk with that. So luckily, Trevor gave me a paper round. Funnily enough, so the business.
So he actually trusted you.
Yeah, I know. Believe it or not. So the papering up business got bigger. I was able to distribute more pages of porn magazines, and then it turned into
Stealing from your employer.
yeah, and then.
This needs to be turned into HBO
It
miniseries,
could
I
be.
think.
But then it turned into me being quite savvy. I used to buy sweets with my paper round money, like lots of sweets. And then I used to go into school. I was the sweet guy. Everyone had a sweet guy, didn't they?
Right,
What are you
yeah,
buying?
My mate was in my farm.
Yeah, I was that guy. I used to sell Twizzlers and things like that, penny chews, cola bottles, all these sweets, lollipops, loads of stuff. And I used to make an absolute killing to the point where, like, I had enough to be. I remember one time my mum had some issue with a catalogue credit card thing, and I went, here's a couple £100, pay that off. And yeah, I was a bit of an entrepreneurial kid, and that was the fad that we had growing up. So,
what the fad
I've never
was
heard that before.
that you were an entrepreneur.
yeah, but it was. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't just me that were doing it. Everyone was doing it. It became like a proper big deal. Like everyone was like undercutting other people. Like, I'll get you some better pages for 20 pence.
Did you sell the sherbet straws? Oh, they were a fad in my school.
Sherbet straws were big.
Yeah, the playground was just strewn with them.
I were a bit of a bugger, to be honest. But yeah, that was the fad. It was papering up, twigging basically. It was quite big where I'm from. If you go anywhere around Pontefract or the Leeds area, ask someone in the 30s about twigging. They go, oh, you know about that? You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's
just need to change the letters a little bit, and you've got Entreporneur.
But yeah, that's one of the fads. Porno mags, basically. But yeah, that's one of the fads that was big where I'm from. I know it wasn't global or worldwide or national, but yeah, it was, for me, this was my world. So it was a fad. So Biggie, what's your fad? I'm sure you're a lot cooler than me and older.
Well, I've come at this at a completely different angle.
Colour television.
I want to talk about zombies. So this is a contentious choice for me, because arguably zombies have never really gone away. But I just wanted to point out that you could say from maybe around the time of Night of the Living Dead was sort of released, for zombies to suddenly come to life on the screen. Excuse the pun. They've been slowly sort of ambling along since then, but dropping in and out of media all the time. You can point out things like the Resi games, Walking Dead comics and TV show, Shaun of the Dead movie, and then suddenly somebody decided at some point that zombies need to be really, really fast. So then you had things like World War Z, 28 Days, a week later, Train to Busan, for example.
I can't deal with them running ones.
Yeah, you even have zombies in COD as a particular mode. So I just wanted to point out that it just seems that 1 minute they're not around, and the next minute there's just this complete blitz of zombies and everything. They even turned up in a kids' game, Plants vs. Zombies. I just don't understand that link, yet there it was.
That sounds like an episode of The Walking Dead, you said then. They're not around, then suddenly they're on them!
Yeah.
I think it's quite cyclical, because like for one like 4-year stretch, vampires are the rage. Then we go into zombies again. Then we go into something else, and we go into something else. But zombies have kind of stood the test of time, haven't they?
Mm.
There is a big fad though, like in the noughties, mid-noughties to maybe 2014, 15, where there's a lot of zombie films and all different types. Like all of a sudden, it's like you watch something like Warm Bodies, where you can kind of remember he's got memories.
Yeah, where you're not,
and like you can hear that. Yeah, you can hear the internal monologue of the zombie, but outside you can only communicate with grunts and things like that. It just changed up like, oh, it's a zombie, but it's this now.
I do like it when they're big creative with zombies stuff. It's like Warm Bodies, or do you ever see that TV
I liked
show,
Warm Bodies.
iZombie
were good,
Yeah,
because it took like the idea of being undead and turned it into this kind of reasonably gentle comedy.
I think for me, it might be the same with Biggie as well. The resurgence in my memory, Shaun of the Dead hit, and then boom, we had. I don't know if Dawn of the Dead came. I think the remake of Dawn of the Dead came, didn't it? Then Shaun of the Dead.
It did, but the popularity of Shaun of the Dead
exploded.
And then you go on Netflix, Prime. If you just type in the word,
it's a genre now, isn't it?
And it's just unbelievable what actual films or TV shows have that in it. It's just everywhere. And that's why I thought it was a bit contentious to pick it. I just thought it was an interesting one purely from a point of view that it comes and goes.
I picked a local fad, don't worry about it.
But yeah, there's just something about, when you think about all the choices you can have with horror, zombies still seems to be that number one
What
choice.
do you think it is like mentally that people latch onto? Is it because they are almost human and they look like as loved ones? Do you think that's what the fear is?
It's that biggest fear. Apparently, it goes back to allegedly ancient Greece.
Really?
That they discovered bones buried with rocks on
So they
top
didn't
of them
rise.
to stop them coming back out. Yeah.
The whole zombie thing is it's
voodoo as well.
Yeah, it's voodoo.
It's Haitian, isn't it?
It's a Haitian belief. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the fear that comes with it is it's the idea of humanity being stripped away from you.
Yeah. You've gone down to your instincts, haven't you, to feed?
Yeah. Whereas the thing is, I've never found zombies particularly scary.
There's one behind you now.
No, that's just me. I'm hungover today. It's fine. The zombies aren't particularly scary because I am one of those people that just look at it and think, it's a decomposing body. How's it moving?
Yeah.
It was like, I remember watching the very first episode of The Walking Dead and like marveling at the fact that they actually put in, like, they had that zombie woman at the beginning where she's like cut in half and she's kind of unable to move. She's trying to drag herself around and she can't move. And I thought, okay, that's actually doing zombies pretty well. And then The Walking Dead fucked it and did it wrong anyway.
You see a lot of you see a lot of them with like barely any ankles, and you're like, how are you holding yourself up?
Exactly, it's stuff like that. Like, I find zombies a very silly monster.
Yeah, and also I don't understand how they are, like you said, all their muscles and
why do their eyes? Why do their eyes work?
What? No, but why do they all sort of become extremely strong?
Yeah.
Like stupidly strong,
but mushy as fuck.
Yeah, I think I read something like it was like, if there was like a zombie apocalypse similar to The Walking Dead, like slow moving zombies, nothing would happen because the military would just wipe them out. Guns would just wipe them out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, super easy, barely an inconvenience. Yeah, couple of weeks of disruption.
Yeah. I did read this somewhere that apparently in the TV show The Walking Dead, if you obviously, if you really want to put yourself through that and watch it all.
No.
But apparently the decomposure of the zombies throughout the series does actually show that.
Yeah.
But further on, they get worse looking, that they're falling to bits. Like,
so all you have to do is outlast the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Well,
you have to wait to the 10th season in real life and then you'll be all right.
the zombies in Walking Dead become less and less of a threat. It's obviously more about the people and humanity. And what
it doesn't take a lot for humanity to crumble, does it?
No.
Yeah, I think the best representation I've seen him, and the only kind of zombie thing that has actually scared me was 28 Days Later. Yeah. And that's because they're not really zombies.
They're rage monkey things, aren't they?
Yeah, they're in more of a frenzy. Like, they've lost their humanity, but they're not dead. Like, the
they don't
body
eat
still
you, do they? They just beat fuck out you.
No, they do eat you.
Oh, do they?
And it shows you in the kind of the very closing scene. Spoiler alert. Where you get this kind of helicopter pan across like the kind of the countryside where they're going away from the city. And you see them starving to death. You see the rage monsters, zombies,
they're not eating,
starving to death because they need to eat, and they can't eat each other. They have to eat fresh. It's totally explained.
Yeah, they get no sustenance from.
Yeah, they have to eat fresh humans. So, or fresh any meat, so any animal or anything like that. It has to be fresh meat. So when it gets to the point where the survivors are kind of hiding away from them, you come past and you see them starving to death, and I think that works better than your common garden Romero-style zombies.
Shamblers.
The Shamblers. Mm. Like, Dawn of the Dead, like the 70s one, that was an incredible film. So was Night of the Living Dead and stuff like that. Because zombies hadn't really been seen before, and kind of George Romero...
Not in that way, anyway.
No, not in that way. Like, George Romero kind of pushed that idea of the Shambler, slightly decomposing zombie. But again, those films take place at the start of an outbreak, so the bodies would still work. They haven't decomposed properly yet.
I watched a thing about Romero, and he was the proprietor, the creator of saying, no, let's keep the zombies' normal clothes on that they'd have as humans.
Yeah.
Because in media and stuff like that, early days and in books and stuff, they were just naked corpses, but Romero was like, no, it's scarier if he's got a tie on.
Yeah, I mean, they would like get ripped and bloody and stuff and everything. But like,
why don't you ever see zombie animals, like zombie llamas?
You've not played enough Resident Evil, sir.
No, I know that they're in there, but just generally in movies, they always seem to just focus on the humans.
That's usually the virus type zombies, isn't it? Where it only affects humans. But then there's like magic zombies, voodoo zombies. There's all sorts of alien zombies. There's lots of it. I think you do get away with zombies being a fad because it dies down enough to forget, and then another zombie big hit happens, and it starts again. I think it's going to be forever, that one, though. I think you.
Oh, no, I agree. I think that's why I thought it was contentious, but they do come and go.
It's one of those fads that's always going to happen, isn't it? It's easy. I think it also boils down to the fact that it's very easy to dress humans up as zombies for films.
Yeah.
I think that's what it boils down to, really.
Yeah.
No, I pity the makeup people in the Resident Evil films that had to put fucking zombie makeup on on the dogs.
Yeah. It looks like they've just got bolognese on them.
It does. It looks like that.
Just licking off its makeup.
They just threw some like bolognese and slapped a couple of steaks on them.
And go on, little Doberman, run. I bet those dogs were absolute darlings, weren't they, on set as well?
Oh, probably. But there's still things that, do you really want to be making up a Doberman to look like it's half dead?
No. Not
at all.
That's a good one, mate. So we'll jump back over to Stig.
Yeah, mine's just another one fad round school, to be honest. I
love these little local school fads.
A bit like you, Oodles, but not as weird.
Entrepreneurial.
Yeah, let's go with that. So we had a fad in our school around the Nokia game, Summer Games. Anyone ever played this?
No, I played Snake.
So this was a game, I think it was around 2003,
like 33,
2004.
10 era.
So when I was in sixth form, it's around the time when like colour phones had just come in.
Oh,
and it just took over our sixth form massively, to the point where we had like competitions, we had leaderboards in the common room. And everything so I think the game has like various different athletics stuff on it. So it's like javelin hurdles, 100-meter dash.
I think I remember it now. You're
kind
saying
of thing. You've just got obviously just like push the buttons as fast as you can, and then press a button to like execute something. But it just it just absolutely blew up for some reason. Like, and the thing is, because obviously this was a time when you couldn't take screenshots on your phone, you couldn't like record your phone, like you record the screen of your phone or anything like that. It was like a standard Nokia colour phone, like original one. Someone had to be there to validate you if you
you had an independent adjudicator.
If you got a world record, because there was no way of proving that you'd done it like properly or something.
Wow.
Like so if you had to if you did it, you had to be in like sixth form or at home or out with your friends somewhere and show yes, I am now the world record holder for the 100-meter dash.
I like how you say world record, like it's just your school.
Yeah, but I've got that American thing going on. Like we are
World Series baseball.
Only American teams.
But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot more I can say about it. Really, it just seemed to be this absolutely massive thing that went through our sixth forms. It seemed to come and go like one. Like a couple of terms where we just went absolutely nuts playing this game. Like all of us just trying to like beat each other's records and stuff. And it was just, even now, like you'll just mention it to one of the people from the lads. You just say Summer Games to them, and they're just, fucking Summer Games, man. How good was that? Probably not that good, actually, when you think about it now. But
wait, did you have to
You're
like?
right though. Sorry, I was just gonna say those fans sort of come and everyone's on it, and one day you turn around and go, "Fancy a game?" and they're like, "Nah, mate."
It's one of those.
It really hits when it hits.
It's one of those games where you have to use the numerical keypad to control it, isn't it?
Yeah, but you have to hit it in the perfect sequence.
Hell, I remember a lot of them.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you have to go as fast as you can, and then like press the button perfectly to get.
We really liked Brick Breaker and stuff in our school, and we had the Snake. Obviously, everyone played Snake 2. Snake 2 were way better than Snake 1. I'll have no arguments about that.
Yeah, because it had a head that actually chomped.
Yeah, and you could go through the walls.
Yes.
But Snake 2, we had an ongoing like leaderboard type thing at school, and the teachers joined in. That's how big it was. And I remember Mr. Dean, he's no longer with us, but he was like our best teacher, and he was like, "Right, guys, we've got everything done this lesson. Last 10 minutes, everyone get Snake out. Let's go. Let's go." So we all got his little shitty Nokias out, and we're like, "Yes, Deanie, yes, let's go." And we're all having this big Snake tournament, and him being the adult, I don't know why, he always kept winning, do you know what I mean? More focus and stuff like that. But yeah, they're good memories then.
Do you remember, just kind of slightly tangentially onto that, like when the idea of mobile gaming became a thing, and like all the different mobile phone manufacturers were trying to get all like these Java games going and trying to get like
Gameloft were massive, weren't they?
Oh yeah, and like John Romero started making games for mobile phones when he left the id Software and stuff like that. But it just made me remember the Nokia N-Gage.
I had one. I had one.
And the thing is, I was curious. I thought, do people still sell them on eBay? And I've just had a look, right?
200 quid.
The highest one I've found, and you'll probably spit your soup out at this one, Oodles. New original Nokia N-Gage QD with 3.4 megabyte memory card.
The second gen.
£1,700.
Jesus Christ! Wow! I had the first N-Gage.
And it has 17 watches on it, apparently. But wow! Well, people asking like £300-400 for them, and then there's ones going for like 100 or.
They called it the taco phone, didn't they? Because you had to hold it sideways on your face. But I remember I owned it, and I had Tomb Raider and Pandemonium, and it was such
only half decent games for us.
It was such a fucking bastard to change games. You had to take the battery out to put the game in. It's such a bastard. I was like, I'm fed up of this, and I got rid of it. But yeah,
I jailbreak my one of the early iPhones, and I blew my own mind when I put Final Fantasy VII on there.
Oh yeah,
an emulator.
Yeah.
Before anyone ever thought about putting that on the store somewhere.
Yeah.
So obviously you can just go on the Google Play and buy it. But
and you never finished it then, did you?
No, but yeah, it just blew my mind that I had this PlayStation 1 game running on my little iPhone.
The first iPhone was quite a powerful little bastard, weren't it? You know what I mean? You could play some good games on that.
It is amazing though. Like when I'm here talking about summer games, and you literally like it was these little cartoon characters on this shitty colour screen. You had to press 1, 2, 3 to go, and now you've got like games like you look at something like Genshin Impact. And like it's just this Zelda clone like on your phone. It's just crazy.
I remember when I paid on the back of games magazines, you could buy game phone games for like $1.99, $2.99. Gameloft ones. It was in the, and I begged and begged. I was like, "Ma'am, I love Splinter Cell. You know I'm never off it. I want the Splinter Cell Gameloft." And believe it or not, it was incredible for a mobile game. I had it on the Sony Walkman. Remember that Sony Walkman phone, the Ericsson?
Yep,
and it was incredible. I was like, I can't believe I'm playing this on my phone. And now, like you said, I could play anything on the phone. Do you know what I mean?
You can play Dragon's Quest 11, can't you?
Not yet. Not yet, but I'm hoping I can play 8.
Wait till Xbox Cloud comes out.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Anyway, just before we get sidetracked, which we clearly have already, Summer Games was just massive in my school in sixth form. I
Googled it while you were talking, and I remember it. I remember it well. But yeah, cool. Gadget.
So this one is a more recent fad. It's actually technically still going on, but I think it's kind of it's waning in its popularity.
Oh.
I got really it was about 5 or 6 years ago. I really got into pop vinyls. Like the Funko Pop vinyl figurines. Those Funko Pop vinyl figurines.
Yeah. Black eyes.
Yeah, I got into them in a big bad way.
I've got a Geralt one that someone gifted me. God bless them.
Yeah, well, that's how it started with me. I got gifted one for my birthday of Dancing Groot in the plant pot.
Yeah.
The bobblehead. And I thought, that was adorable. And then someone else saw that I had that, and then I got the Xenomorph from Alien. I think,
oh, wow, they did that.
Yeah.
Less adorable.
Dude, they've done everything.
Yeah, they've literally done everything. It's almost like Lucasfilm levels of
they've all got the same like black oval eyes, haven't they?
Yep.
Yeah. And I had a massive collection of them. Like I think I had a peak. I'm not the worst person I know to have collected them, but I had about 100 of them at my peak. And
fucking hell.
They're like a tenner
a pop, yeah.
A tenner to 15 quid each. Didn't do anything. I used to keep them in their boxes because it was like keep them in the boxes, keep them fresh kind of thing.
You don't take them out.
Yeah. Rookie numbers, you've got to pump those numbers higher.
Settle down, McCogney.
This is when Stig tells us that he's got a room.
I've got one.
I still have one now, which was a metallic Thanos that Pip bought me when we first started dating.
That one.
So yeah, I'll keep that one. But I did sell them all. I mean, to be fair, I had some really good ones I liked. I had Jack and BT from Titanfall.
He's my new son.
Yeah, and it was a large Titan, and you got like a tiny little Jack that would fit inside him.
Nice. Oh,
really
wow!
Cool. I had the BioShock Big Daddy.
Of course you did.
Which was a really good one.
Why did you get rid of that?
So I had a bit of a clear out a couple of years ago, and I realised that they were literally just taking space on my shelf and collecting
the big
dust.
boxes as well, aren't they?
Like I used to get I used to buy collector's editions of games and all that. So I sold all them at the time. The daft thing is, because of some of the ones I managed to get when they'd been out were quite rare, I actually managed to make a profit on the whole lot. Like I sold them all on eBay, and some of them went for £1 or £1.50. Fine. My Bioshock Big Daddy went for 100.
Fuck.
Because they were really rare, and because they were the bigger pops as well, so they were kind of hard to come back.
And that probably paid for your mouse, something like that.
The Titanfall one went for quite a bit of money. But yeah, like I remember, I remember I was really into them. I used to follow like stock alerts on certain ones that I was interested in.
What's considered the rarest in the world?
Oh shit! You know what? I wouldn't know, but if you give me a second, I'll find out.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I've got Kratos, Hellboy, Deadpool.
Oh, he's got some. You've got loads.
And my favourite one is my Notorious B.I.G., which is on the top of the dashboard of my car.
Oh,
he wears a T-shirt that says Biggie on it.
Yeah,
nice. No, I've got a Spider-Man in the black Spider-Man suit, and he hangs off the wall. So rather than standing on the stand, he's like stuck to the wall, and he's like putting his like spider hand out.
So I've found an article on here from Aussie Collectibles, which is the top 5 rarest ones.
Oh, here we go.
Number 5, I don't understand what this one is. This looks like it's something to do with an American brand, but it's Boo Berry, which is looks like a ghost mascot thing.
Never heard of it.
Apparently that one's worth $5,570.
Wow.
Oh, Christ.
Dumbo from the film Dumbo, but with clown paint on his face. Because that's the thing, is that they do variations, so they'll make one figure and then do different paint variations.
It's the same mold, isn't it? But the paint.
You should see when you see like they interest me when I look at them. I don't buy them, but I've kind of looked at them in toy shops and stuff when I've been with the kids.
Checking them out.
And like you'll see like say something like a Harry Potter when it's like, here's Harry in like his clothes from the 3rd film. But here's also Harry in his clothes from the 3rd film, but with a different T-shirt on. It's just like,
wow.
They just changed like the tiniest thing, but it's a new one.
So this Dumbo one was one done for 2013 Comic-Con, 48 pieces in the world, 6,350. Darth Maul holographic, which is basically just the Darth Maul figure, but ever so slightly translucent. $7,000.
Wow. Please say Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah, Stanley in a metallic superhero outfit. 8,000 of them.
Wow.
$8,000 for one of them. Freddie Funko as Count Chocula.
I don't know what that means.
So Freddie Funko was like the Funko brand's mascot.
Oh.
Then done up as Count Chocula for some reason.
That's the cereal guy, isn't it? Count
Chocula? It's American cereal.
Yeah, $10,000.
What?
And Clockwork Orange, the main guy from the Clockwork Orange.
No way.
Glow in the Dark Chase, apparently. That one is super really rare, and that one's 13,300.
Oh,
for.
No way.
I'm off to go look around some car boot sales.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, like these things were absolutely mental, and I still get emails from like Pop Culture and stuff like that.
That's a cool name for it.
Yeah, because I can't ever seem to unsubscribe from these things, no matter how many times I click the link. And they're still constantly being released. And like I said, there are so many variations of the same figure. Like the amount of like Ron Swanson ones I've seen where it's just him with a different color shirt on or something like that. But it's counted as a different model. And like I do know people who've collected multiples of the same model because they're ever so slightly different or so slightly rare or something.
Oodles, you should get the Friends ones.
I'd get the Rachel one.
Very humble. But yeah,
I've got a Wolverine one which is brown and yellow, which is quite rare.
Yeah. When you see some of them, you just think like, what was the point of making this?
Yeah.
And there are X amount of thousands of Deadpool variations and Harley Quinn variations and Jokers and all these different things.
Didn't Deadpool have his own in one of the films? He had his own Funko Pop, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and there's like I say, there's so many variations on Deadpool, especially after the films came out, and it's just like it got to the point where like when I sold them, like I didn't miss them, like because it was one of those things that I used to buy them quite regularly. I used to tend to focus on the gaming ones, so I had quite a lot of the Overwatch ones. I had I was annoyed that they never did a Bloodborne Hunter. I really wanted a Bloodborne Hunter one.
I've got the. I'll send you it. Actually, you can have it. It's still packaged. It's the Bloodborne Hunter Sackboy. You can have that.
I've got that.
You don't. I'll give it to someone else then.
On the shelf behind me. The funniest one I ever had was the only one they ever did for Dark Souls, which was done for Dark Souls 3. And he was marked as the Red Knight.
The Invader.
No. It was the Soul of Cinder with the wrong name.
Oh shit!
They give him the wrong name so as not to spoil the last boss fight.
I suppose that makes sense. Yeah.
But he was shit. Like I remember, like the actual design of him, like when they transferred him to being a Funko Pop, he looked dreadful. Yeah. It was the most ridiculous, and it got to a point where I remember looking in Forbidden Planet in Newcastle, and I was looking up and down the racks where they had them, and there was like thousands of Rick and Morty ones, or all these thousands of Harry Potter ones. I'm thinking, why am I looking at these? Like, why do I want to spend my money on this now? I
remember reading an article a few years back saying that if it weren't for these collectibles, shops like Game would have gone under a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like revitalized things.
Yeah, you get ones like the Fortnite ones sell gangbusters and stuff like that. And I think Funko Pops tend to work when they hit some zeitgeist. I mean, the only one that I ever bought that I missed that I've sold, I had a Gene Belcher from Bob's Burgers. And he used to sit on top of my PC.
You'll not see that any places anymore, will you?
No, well, he used to sit on top of my PC tower at work. And he's just stood there with his little keyboard, and it's just like, oh, you're adorable, aren't you, Gene? Because Gene's adorable.
I've seen them. I've seen, like, my kids are into the. It's similar to that. They're like ducks, like bath ducks. You know, rubber duckies. But they're all like.
Did you see the one that Deadbeat Punk posted in the Discord of Kiryu from?
No.
Quickly have a look in the Discord in the Kamarocha room. The Kiryu duck is amazing.
Oh, I have
no intention of collecting them, but I kind of want him.
Yeah. There's so many different, like, kind of rip-offs of Funko Pops now. They're all different ones. But like what Oodles was saying there, like, I noticed this the other day when I walked down into town into the market. The guy who used to just sell secondhand DVDs and games and
they sell them now.
And now his whole store is pretty much just Funko Pops and like collectibles, and then DVDs are just shoved to the side.
Yeah. So, did you remember when Sony tried to start doing their own version of them for PlayStation characters?
Nendroids or something.
No, not Nendroids. They're a whole different thing. Those ones I count differently to Funko Pops because they actually, you can pose them, and they're more like collectible figurines rather than just these shitty plastic things. But so for Funko Pops, I got bit hard by that, but I made a profit on it. So hey,
I do agree with you though. I feel like the actual Funko Pops is kind of dying. It needs something to hit hard, doesn't it, to bring back? I'm probably wrong.
I think it's just they're a victim of their own success. They were very successful, and they hit the zeitgeist really hard, and it almost became a parody of itself. Like when they started releasing like Gears Pop for the mobile phones and stuff like that.
Hey, Gears Pop's a good game.
No, I'm sure it's a good game, but a lot of people got put off just by the fact that it's Funko Pop. It's like,
do you remember that announcement for that game? Everyone was waiting for Gears, and they just went, "It's Gears Pop."
I've played more Gears Pop than any other Gears game ever. It's incredible. But yeah, you're right, because like I work in retail, and the shelf space is nowhere near as big for Pop anymore. It's just not one of those things.
HMV used to have like a whole wall.
I don't go in HMV. I thought it was shut down years ago.
Game used to sell more fucking Pop vinyls than they did games.
Yeah, because it's expensive. Yeah, excellent. Right, so we'll move on to me. I've got like a couple in one because the main thing is I don't really have anecdotes about these. These just existed, and I was big into them. The first one is Reebok pumps. Can you remember these?
Yeah.
So you could pump up your shoes. You can squeeze them and put air into the tongue, and apparently it locked your feet into your shoes. And it was very popular, and it was probably bollocks, a load of shite.
The only memory I have of those is in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah,
he pumps.
Where he's like, wait a minute, gotta get some air. And he pumps up his trainers. Okay, fight started.
Yeah. But they were quite big in little school when I was there, and I'm somehow, and like my parents were tight, somehow I managed to get some at Christmas, and they were my pride and joy. And as a kid, you don't think that your feet are going to grow every 3 months. So I was like,
you're crippling your feet not to ask for a bigger pair.
Can we trim my toes down rather than my nails? I need these pumps to last me another year. I'm very popular at school because of these pumps. The next one, I also had a little bit of a racketeering job with a little school. I started at a young age.
Here we go.
Monsters in my pocket They were massive. They were little like squidgy monster figurines.
I think I know what these were.
They were only like
an
inch tall, and I used to sell these in my backpack to kids.
So after you nicked them from the shop?
Well, I acquired them. And yeah, I used to sell these at a profit. You used to get like 3 or 4 in a pack, and I used to sell them £1 a go. £1 for one of these little fucking squidgy things. Google monsters in my pocket.
I'm doing it now.
Remember them?
Yeah, I remember. I do.
They were a really big money spinner in my little enterprise I had. Big profits from them. Big profits. I wish I'd put all this money into
I remember them. That fucking ISA. 90s packaging.
Yeah, they're in packaging. And sometimes you got them attached to magazines and stuff like that. But yeah, they were fun. Crap, they didn't taste very good. But I
don't think you were supposed to eat them.
No, but you try, don't you? I remember you used to get them from Pizza Hut. They were in packets of Shreddies and Frosties and stuff like that. And sometimes they came with stickers, and yeah, they were good. And
miss the days when you get a toy in your cereal.
You're not allowed anymore because kids eat them.
I know.
The big one for me.
Well, I mean, he's just literally said he tried to eat the monster in his pocket. So it's proven.
Yeah.
I remember seeing these. They weren't at my school, but I remember seeing.
No, because you were 28 when these came out.
Fuck off.
Your big fad was Conkers, wasn't it?
Dude, you wait to actually meet up. I swear you're so.
When
fast.
I was a boy, they invented a thing. It's called the bicycle, and we all had a bicycle. That was your fad, wasn't it? The penny farthings. But yeah, the main one when I was growing up, and they still exist today in pound shops, dollar stores, whatever you want to call them. Alien eggs. So.
Oh yeah.
Basically, it was a little capsule,
absolute shite,
with an alien inside in all this gooey. I don't even know what you call it. Sludge, slime, awful stuff. And they had the title. They will expand or breed or get bigger if you leave them in water for so long. Can you remember?
Yeah, they never did.
No,
never did. They used to split apart and get smaller.
People used to, and the rumours around like, that if you left it in there like that, they started as something, and they changed depending on how long you left them in there. It's like, nah, it's just a bloody rubber toy inside. And
it just disintegrated, didn't it? Rather than have a baby, it just split in two.
yeah, that was it. Like, it was like, if you do this, it'll have a baby. It's like, no,
it's just breaking apart, isn't it? But yeah, they were massive, and they got banned in our school because we were throwing them at windows and stuff like that. And then there was also the little slimy things that climbed down the walls that came out of eggs.
Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah, I was just thinking that when you said throwing it, like the little yellow men.
Yeah, the little yellow men. What it is, what the main fad I want to talk about is everything was in an egg. Eggs were a fad. Little plastic eggs. So you had Kinder toys. Alien eggs. You had. I don't know what they even call them, where you put like 20 pence in a machine and you spin it round, and then an egg came out with a toy in it or some sweets. I don't even know what you call them things.
It's just a vending machine.
Yeah, just a vending machine.
There's another one I'm thinking of as well, which is like it looked like a dino egg, and it kind of had the jagged things, and you open that cracked open. I can't remember what was in it.
Weren't the shit?
Yeah,
absolutely.
What even a dinosaur inside that? I can't remember what it was. It was just
always disappointing.
Just slime, mate. Just absolute crap.
Kinder surprises now are so shit. Like, this was another fad. Sorry to derail you,
going, man.
Like, when I was younger, did anyone ever have the little
terrapins,
turtles?
Yeah, tiny terrapins.
Trying to collect them out in Kinders was massive when I was young. The shit,
I think I nearly gave myself diabetes trying to get them.
The shit my kids getting now is like, it is just.
I do like that chocolate. That's good.
The chocolate's beautiful, but like, you can get that chocolate in a bar form now. So why spend all that money on a crap fucking egg? But the kids still want the egg and the toy, and you're just like.
It reminds me of recently we went back to McDonald's, and McDonald's was the bastion of youth when I was younger, and you got a Happy Meal. And I got my kids a Happy Meal each. This is only like a month ago. And do you know what they're putting in Happy Meals now? Books. That's fucked up.
They still do toys, but they do a mixture of books and toys.
Well, I was furious. We drove home, we got back.
Jigsaw's the worst.
Check your toy. What you got? Oh, it's a fucking book. It's not even a full book either. It's just like an extract of a Roald Dahl book. It's not even the full.
We used to get amazing toys when we were younger, didn't we?
Mate,
Do you remember the when Transformers was a big thing? You got the transforming McDonald's.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
The fries and the drink and stuff like that.
For me, it was the Simpsons. When they that was for years. McDonald's and Simpsons had this thing where there was so many different Simpsons figurines and stuff. No,
but they still do. You got Minions. They've done Minions recently. Scooby-Doo stuff.
Yeah, but imagine being 4, 5, 6, 7 year old, going to McDonald's, eating your burger, flicking your gherkin out of the window, and then get into your toy, and it's being a fucking book.
Some kids like to read, Oodles.
I like to read, and my kids like to read, but you like to listen to audiobooks. Well, yeah.
Or playing Dragon Quest.
Yeah, but my kids like to read, but you give them a book, you buy them books.
Yeah.
Books aren't expensive.
This is a fad that McDonald's need to get away from.
Yeah, and stop putting carrot sticks in there as well. Let my kids be fat.
Parent
back
of the
fries. But yeah, things in eggs, it was just such a big thing. And there was these ones that were like, they were the rivals to Kinder Eggs, but they were so much better. And they had like wacky races inside them. I can't remember the name of the egg. It was a proper brand, and it was like could have been Cadbury's, could have been Nestle or something like that. And the chocolate was nowhere near as good as Kinder Eggs because nothing is. But the toys inside, they were incredible. They were like little mini Gundams. You had to build them and stuff. It was so good.
Nice.
But you don't
remember them
anything like that anymore. But it's just sad. It's sad. The only eggs you get now are Easter eggs and eggs. And when kids crack open an egg, it's not as fun. But yeah, are we on to next? Sorry, I've lost the plot.
Biggie.
Fuck's sake.
You've already forgotten his name once today.
That young man down there in the corner.
Hi. So my final one, which also is slightly sad because it's generally related to things that aren't available now, and it's generally magazines used to give out game demo discs.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And demo discs were also available in some games, which I have listed here.
Mm-hmm.
But the demos that used to get on the front cover of a game magazine.
So good.
And I'm only talking about this because I generally had a PlayStation for these, so please feel free to jump in about any that you remember. I just got a little list of certain ones that I recall. So Metal Gear Solid 2 came as a demo with Zone of Enders.
Yep. That's the only reason people bought Zone of Enders.
Wrong.
Zone of Enders was actually a good game.
Yeah,
it was.
Everyone first put in Metal Gear Solid 2 when they got that. I remember the demo for Tony Hawk 1, I think it was, came with official PlayStation magazine.
You did, yeah.
And these were the days when you got like a whole level.
You got to play the hangar level over and over again.
You could just completely play that game as if it was the game, just one level, but it was just incredible.
It was like one song.
The actual disc that came with the original PlayStation
Demo 1
had Gran Turismo, Medieval, Tekken 3, I think it was.
Don't forget the Dinosaur Tech demo.
Tech demo. Final Fantasy 8.
It did have 8 for no reason.
Fencer Musashi.
Yeah.
Which I got this on import. I don't know if it was like this in the UK. But,
no, I don't think it did. I remember the platinum release of Final Fantasy VII came with the video demo disc for Final Fantasy VIII.
Yes, it did. Yeah, it had an extra layer in the case, didn't it, for the extra disc?
Yeah. I also remember Metal Gear Solid came with the demo for Silent Hill.
Yes.
A weird one that I noticed, and it came out when the PS2 existed, but if you bought Final Fantasy VI on the PlayStation 1, you got the demo for Final Fantasy X on PlayStation 2. I didn't own a PlayStation 2, so it was just a disc. That was a sad day.
I've got Xenogears, the demo for that came with Parasite Eve.
Yeah, it did.
And Final Fantasy VII was demoed with Tobal number 1.
Which is a good game. I love Tobal number 1.
And one other last one I wanted to mention was the demo for Destruction Derby when that first came out.
Yeah.
Because that again was like a whole race or
Do you remember? This has just absolutely reminded me, and this happened quite a few times, and it happens still to this day. They released a demo disc on the official PlayStation magazine for PlayStation 1 with a demo for the game The Italian Job. Now, there was a glitch on The Italian Job. You got one race on the demo. The game was an open world driver-like game where you could explore London. On this demo disc, as it's going 3, 2, 1, start the race. If you reverse, it cuts out of that mission, and you've got the whole game to play.
Mm-hmm.
This happened recently with Yakuza as well. They've got the full game on a demo. It's happened on a number of games. But I remember saying to my friend Gary, I'm like, dude, did you get a PlayStation magazine this month? He went, yeah. I went, there's a free game on that. He went, wow. I went, do you know The Italian Job? If you reverse on the race, you've got the whole game to play. And they issued an apology and everything in the next episode, in the next magazine.
Why did you issue an apology? These days, they're just like, patch.
Yeah. But they did that with Yakuza really recently, you know. One of the latest Yakuzas, it was a demo, but you had all the game inside it, or something silly like that.
Yeah, this time of them putting demo discs on stuff was amazing. I don't know why, like the one of them that seems to just spring out at me is Discworld 2.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know, I just played that like so many times, even though you could only play it up to a certain point in the game.
Yeah, once you got past a certain bit, it stopped,
it's just because I felt that, like, I think that game you could do things in different ways, and you could stuff like that. Yeah, so me and my mate played that loads.
Tomb Raider 1 demo was good because the first level on Tomb Raider is quite a lengthy level as well.
Yeah.
I remember the demo on PlayStation Magazine for Resident Evil 2. It basically give you like a 10-minute timer on it, a bit like what they actually do with the demos now, where they give you like a time-limited demo.
Yeah, that's right.
But me and my brother would basically speedrun it and see how far we could get. And I think my record was getting past the liquor in the first corridor. And getting to like one of the rooms beyond that.
I think
getting to the second save room, I think is what
I don't think you can pick up the shotgun in the demo. I don't think it existed either. So it's a bit
no. You can if you go back in after the gun after Kendo gets.
Oh yeah, of course you could. Yeah, he had it on his body, didn't he?
Yeah, he had it on his body. But yeah, there was that one. I also remember the GTA demo for the first Grand Theft Auto game.
Yeah.
Again, it was like 15 minutes, and me and my brother would just see, right, how far in the city can we get?
Yeah, can we jump over the bridge?
Yeah, stuff like that. It was in fact, the reason demo discs were the precise reason I think I ended up with a PlayStation over an N64.
Of course you did.
Just because my dad was thinking, was like, well, you know, the games are a bit cheaper anyway, but look, you can get all these demo discs.
Yeah.
And we also had a home PC, so like we did play some PC games. And the PC Gamer magazine, not only did it have demos of games to come out, but they also started curating mods for Half-Life and Unreal Tournament and stuff like that, so you could get like some of the best mods without having to download them. It was great fun.
And you could also go to the car boot and get copied games for the PC.
Well, true, that was a thing, yeah. But
and the PS1.
And the PS1, yeah.
And I never had a chip PS1, so I could never do that.
Neither did I, mate. Neither did I. But yeah, demos were good, man. What? I tell you what reminded me of demos. Remember the... spoiler alert for a really old game. Metal Gear Solid 2, the demo was the tanker, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like
I was so excited,
mission.
and then I bought the real game. That is just the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that demo was so good. I was blown away by that. And I was so excited to get Metal Gear Solid 2 purely based on that demo. It was a good way of getting you interested.
Of course it was, and then look what they did after.
Yeah, then they absolutely pulled the rug up from underneath you.
But I mean, that tanker demo, especially, that was a good one because it in that tanker section you see so much of like what the game can do in
melting
terms of, like,
ice,
its physics, and its lighting, and like all the
shooting bottles,
the environmental
cold
detail. I still remember playing that demo the first time I came around the corner where you get the shadow of Vulcan Raven coming across the wall.
Raven?
And then you like turn the corner, it's like a toy in front of a light. And
which doesn't, it doesn't stop shooting them BBs, does it? It keeps going.
No. But it's one of those moments that was perfect for that demo to go, oh shit, what's Kojima doing? I said, oh, okay.
Yeah, what a visionary.
Yeah. Also, it was weird that they would put 18 rated games on demo discs that didn't. Like I say, there's like Resident Evil was a 15, but Resident Evil 2, GTA,
Nightmare
Silent
Creatures
Hill,
were on demo.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like I think the only ones that didn't get there were any kind of like Rudy games or anything like that.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Any more before we move on?
No,
that's it for me.
Podcasts, do they count?
Podcast is a fad. It will die out very soon. I would like to know what a lot of international listeners, what fads they got over there, and like some Spanish, like, oh, we had a fad where we were chasing a bull and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? I want to know what international fads were and stuff. So,
like,
I don't think bullfighting counts as a fad.
I don't know.
I think you'll find that's a national sport over in Spain.
Well, there you go. But yeah, let's go to the bulging sack of fads that our Postmaster General Gadget has.
Okay, well, Dan, a tree smurf on Twitter, has come in and says, while I still play it every day, there's a lot to be said about when Pokemon Go was big. The buzz it caused and just seeing so many people enjoying being outside in such a wholesome way was great. I know those sick fuckers at the Pokemon Company getting people outside.
I know.
What's wrong with them?
That was insane how big that kicked off, considering you had people that didn't even play games were using that.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Do you remember like when it first kicked off? That like there were news stories coming out saying people playing Pokemon Go will find body in woods and stuff like that. Like there was loads of stories like that at the time because people were obviously going out into places that aren't normally walked across.
My friends when they came over, he was just like, oh, he came over and said, oh, you playing Pokemon Go? I was like, yeah, I'm like doing that, every now and again. And everything is like, oh, while the tea finishes cooking, should we go out? It's just like we were just driving around town, going to the gyms and like trying to find stuff. And it's just like, and I did that once, and I was just like, this is a bit pointless, isn't it? Like,
I do remember at my old job, the place that I worked was a Pokemon gym, and we used to get a lot of people just strolling up into the car park, getting the phones out, screaming, "Oh my god, I've got a Zapdos!" and stuff like that, and then driving away. Bye. You know what I mean? But
people are putting notices up outside their shops going, we've got Pokemon in here. And it's
I think one of the ways Niantic made money from it was shops could like pay to be Pokemon gyms in certain places.
Oh, right.
So it would attract people to their business. Obviously, couldn't guarantee people would go inside, but it just got people in the area.
Because it's a lot more sophisticated than when it launched now, isn't it? You can battle and stuff now. Because originally it was just you walk. It was like geocaching and stuff, wasn't it? You just walk around and find this and that. And now you go and defend gyms, you go and battle people. But the only main problem I've got with Pokemon Go is that, you have to go outside and, no.
You go outside like some kind of monster.
Ooh.
To find monsters.
And now you can't tell if people are on their phones or not now playing that game because everybody's on their phones.
Dude, my phone cost £1,000. I'm not walking around the streets with it catching Diglets. It's not happening.
Just in the hand. Like that.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Okay, Cow Goes Moo is clearly one of our people from the 90s. Says, I guess fashion trends from school days, although maybe calling it fashion is a bit of a stretch. Middle partings with undercuts, shell suits, that kind of thing.
What do you mean? I've got an undercut and a kind of a middle part in it for me.
You push your hair to the side.
I've got an undercut on the side.
Yeah, I've got an undercut.
But they were bad.
I've got everything cut.
But honestly, curtains with an undercut, horrendous.
Yeah. That's because of an NSYNC and stuff. Look.
Pogs, I had quite a good Power Ranger Pogs collection.
Nice.
He says, I'm not really into football, but I remember lots of kids collecting football stickers.
Yeah.
That was any school that was big on football, like my school was.
Mine was.
Like stickers for days. Nimrod Hicks has written in saying, I remember when you got actual cash in a sachet of crisp packets.
Yeah.
Vote for a voucher for a free bag of crisps for the case you get a $5 or a $10. Yeah, I got a $5 in a packet of Walkers once.
Yeah, the Walkers crisps. Oh my god, Gary Lineker, I've got a $5.
Like that day you open a bag of crisps and you see that tantalising little blue sachet in there.
Yeah. Sometimes it was a free bag, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I did get a $5 once as well. I think they had to stop doing that though because people from the factory were just nicking them.
Yeah, of course you would.
Sachets.
It's like the cream eggs now, isn't it? Where people just every time you go into a shop, all the cream eggs are open.
Well, they put $5 in cream eggs.
No, golden cream eggs are a thing.
A golden cream egg.
Yeah. Do you don't know about this?
No, what could you like? Is it chocolate still, or is it
10 grand?
See, they did it as well with
squeeze it.
They did it as well with mini eggs, but like the way I eat mini eggs is that I'm not looking at the colour.
No,
so it's a really
you've probably had a £10,000 one.
It's not a good thing. I mean, they probably did that on purpose because they know that people just chomp them down, and they're like, no one's ever going to even notice a gold one in there.
There's always that. There's always that lift the Pringles lid, and you might win a Sony Walkman or something silly underneath.
But did you not see the most recent Pringles promotion with Game Pass?
No.
Which was like if you had to submit a code from a packet of a tube of Pringles, and you'd get like a week free Xbox Game Pass. But the code that you had to submit's printed on the bottom of the can.
Oh, so you can just lift it up?
Yeah, just lift it up, take a picture of it, walk home.
So they're all redeemed?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, that's you 1-0 against diabetes, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Fat Zangief, which I still love his screen name. I think that's brilliant.
That's a good one.
He says, I know it was a recent fad, but no one can tell me these Transformer branded fidget spinners I have aren't going to be worth a fortune in the future.
I've got 2 in my house. I've got the Autobots and the Decepticons.
We'll have to make sure that Stig tweets that picture out there, because they're in their box and they're fabulous.
Yeah, I love a fidget spinner.
Smashiest Clay has come and says, oh God, I'd forgotten about Pogs. There I was thinking I'm immune to fads, and then someone brings up Pogs, shell suits, yo-yos, and football stickers. I got hooked after they were free with cornflakes. Typical drug dealer trick, a free taste and jack up the price.
Can you remember the Pog mascot, that Captain Caveman looking guy?
Oh, I remember him, man. Then he says, and then later on I got swept up in skateboarding in the wake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I was awful at it and was already ruining my body with martial arts and rugby. Another high-impact hobby was a terrible idea.
Poor ankles.
Yeah. That man's poor body. Speaking of skating, Ben Blaster X has come in saying, did anyone ever get big into tech decks?
I was not good at
mini little skateboards.
I had one, but I was never good at it.
I had one, I was shit at him.
He says, I had skateboards, ramps, grind rails, the lot. He went in hard on that.
My fingering skills weren't up to par. Well, I need to phrase that better. I mean, tech deck finger play. No, I can't even say that either. Tech deckery. Cut that out.
He goes on to say, one kid in my school at the time got a £20 in a packet of roast chicken crisps. I still remember the flavour. He was already the kid who got everything because his parents were divorced. He had all the consoles at the time, PS1
Mr.
and
Two
N64.
Christmases over there.
He had all the consoles at the time, PS1 and N64, and he was with £20, the lucky cunt.
I mean, £20 when you're at high school, you may as well be a millionaire.
Amazing.
But those tech decks, man, they're just the stupidest.
You could unscrew the trucks, couldn't you, and stuff, and put new wheels on them and stuff.
Do ollie kick flips with their fingers. It's just like, what are you doing?
High performance trucks, change the grip tape, all that kind of shit.
You get a half pipe. You go buy a little half pipe for them.
You had to buy little socket sets with them to take off the wheels.
Allen keys.
Our newest member, officially not Tig.
Oh.
He's definitely not Tig.
Definitely not. This is not Tig then, yeah?
No, definitely not.
Never heard of him.
Not Tig. Because as far as I'm aware, I think the American feds are looking for Tig. Something money laundering related. I don't know. Look in the Discord. He says, shell suits, with a thumb up, thumbs up. Bottle tops on trainers,
yes.
Thumbs up. Fucking hell. Coca-Cola spinners, thumbs up.
Yep.
Which he then highlights as yo-yos rather than spinners. He had a Sprite one.
I had a Pepsi one. I think they made a Pepsi one. I was more into Pepsi as a kid, but now I like Coke.
I might have had a Sprite one, you know.
Nimrod Hicks has come in with his usual bullshit by saying, actually, we've already had Nimrod Hicks. What the fuck? Oh, so the Nimrod Hicks from before was on Discord. He's coming with an email now.
This guy.
Dear minimally engrossing.
Oh.
He's at it again.
I mean...
And he's getting mentioned twice in one episode. I'm going to fucking cut the first one out. Growing up in the 80s, I was involved with nearly every fad known to man. Yo-yos, football stickers, koosh balls, garbage pail kids, and handheld LCD games, to name a few. Oh god, do you remember those Tiger
Electronics?
Games?
Yeah.
Oh yes, horrendous. Imagine asking for Street Fighter for Christmas and get the Tiger Electronics Street Fighter.
I had Mortal Kombat. I had Mortal Kombat Tiger Electronics. It was fucking shit. You could only be Liu Kang.
However, my favourite was a Rubik's Clock, which was a mechanical puzzle which required you to get 18 clocks to synchronise. I managed to finish the puzzle before my maths teacher and was pretty damn smug about it.
I don't even remember that.
I don't remember that. I remember obviously a Rubik's Cube. But
remember when they made the ultimate Rubik's Cube? It was like 12-sided on each side and stuff. Oh god!
You need to see the state of the current ones. You can get like 64 cubes and stuff like that.
And these kids can just press that timer and do it in a second.
Yeah.
Oh, that is just literally insane.
It's memory. It's memory rather than skill. Don't let them kid you on.
Yeah.
Just feel better about yourself there, Biggie.
Yeah, don't worry about it, pal.
Best boy,
all right, mate.
Best boy, Angry Kurt is coming in with greetings, gentlemen. I have 2 suggestions to this topic, both of which were during my time in junior school. It seemed at secondary school any fads would be classed as
It's only like 5 years ago as well, wasn't it?
At secondary school, any fads would be classed as nerdiness of epic proportions, so I keep them to myself. So the first is Yu-Gi-Oh cards. These came after Pokemon in my school had a good run and was subject to getting banned along with my next suggestion. I got into them just as much as Pokemon cards and really enjoyed playing the game as well as collecting. I also remember watching the anime. I think it's still reasonably popular and has done better than Digimon, which I never got into.
Yeah,
Stig loves Digimon.
Just on the Pokemon cards, I remember in high school someone found they were just there on the table in one of these maths classes, no reason. Rather than just leave them there, this lad, for some reason, decided to throw them out the window. I have never seen so many nerds just run through. I swear, he threw all these Pokemon cards out the window, and there was just a load of them just there, getting them off the floor.
It never hit me, Pokemon. I don't know if I was too old for it, but I remember they had these element cards, some Pokemon cards, and they were always thrown on the ground. I don't know what they did, because I don't think anyone ever played it. They just collected them.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever play Yu-Gi-Oh? Kind of to Kurt's point, because
no.
Yeah, I think that was one that passed me by. I remember Pokemon being a thing when I was in school. Yu-Gi-Oh was something that was I remember the cartoon more than I remember the cards.
I've seen it, yeah. The guy with the spiky hair, red and blonde. I've seen it, yeah.
That doesn't narrow it down for anime characters.
Egyptian themed, isn't it? I think.
Something like that, yeah.
I think. I'm probably wrong.
He carries on saying, secondly, there were these plastic figures called Crazy Bones. These were also banned due to people playing for keeps. I don't hear this mentioned very often, but they were huge in my school. I remember Crazy Bones. They were fucking
Is it
mental.
the ones that are like jacks? Remember
yeah,
Jacks?
Yeah, that was the way you played
thing?
the game, yeah, but they were like little monster things, I think.
Jacks were big in Biggie's time.
Yeah.
No, they used to throw pebbles. They used to throw pebbles at walls.
Let's be nice to Biggie. Remember, he's our sex appeal.
Yeah.
Love you, Biggie.
And our senior.
They were plastic figures which you would match, and you would have to flick at your opponent's crazy bone to knock it over. This description sounds wrong. Best of 5 wins. Some were classed as rare if they were see-through, or you could whistle through them.
Wow.
We thought this was intentional, but reality was probably just a dodgy mold. We even made themed ones around football tournaments. I always remember how every kid made their parents buy some aerial tablets so you could get the small net bag to store them in.
Oh yeah, that makes so much sense. That's clever.
Yeah, but I remember Crazy Bones. It was kind of like the game was kind of tangential to playing a game of jacks, because it was just you match them up and flick them at each other, and they got banned. They got banned in my school quite quickly because
everything fun got banned at school.
Yeah,
flicking them at each other, flicking them at their faces, all that kind of thing. Yeah,
everything gets banned because people just start getting aggressive over like you said, if you do stuff like play for keeps and then someone won't hand it over, and then they go home and they're like, oh, I don't have it anymore. Then the parent complains to the teachers, and it's like...
Did you ever play Scabby Queen at school? With playing cards where... it's a bit like Knuckles, where you smash...
You wrap it on your knuckles,
you wrap the playing cards on your knuckles, so you've got little scratches and bruises, and then you stick your hand in salt. I grew up in a really rough part of town.
We had...
Did you go to school in Prisoner Cell Block H or something?
Basically, yeah. Scabby Queen, it was called.
Fucking hell!
It was
so
fucking
wrap your knuckles
dangerous.
and stick your fist in fucking salt. What's wrong with you?
A fad in my school at one point about where you had to spin a coin, and you sat in a circle and you had to keep the coin spinning, and if you were the one who to let it, you had to touch the coin. Literally, you could just touch it and let it go. And if you're the one that let the coin drop, then you had to put your knuckles on the table and then flick the coin at your knuckles, and people were bleeding all over the table.
It might be a Yorkshire thing,
scabbing knuckles.
We had to earn.
I just remember bundles.
That got banned. We got told to stop doing that.
Yeah, we had rulers as well, where you used to rack the side of the rulers on his fingers.
Yeah. One lad just had the coin just in his knuckle, and just bleeding everywhere. Caught him really good.
Yeah.
Do we need to call Childline on Yorkshire?
No, because it was all a rite of passage. Everyone my age has got fucked up knuckles. I have. My knuckles are minging.
I have a scratch on my. I don't know why kids do this. Why we did this? The scratch on the top of my hand, the scar still there to this day.
Yeah.
From when we used to play chicken scratchers.
Chicken scratchers, yeah, that would be.
And it was like a you know, the game Chicken, see how long you could go for.
Yep.
You're playing chicken with chicken scratchers, where basically you just scratch at your hand until it bled,
cry.
until it started bleeding, and you had to stop. And I went so deep with one that it's still there.
Yeah.
What?
It's a rite of passage. There was nothing on the
Bundles,
TV.
yeah, bundles at school, right?
Yeah, bundles, yeah.
No?
Yeah, because we used to have a playground where the grass verge was obviously down in embankment side. So whenever everyone shouted bundles, everyone
Jump on
just
each other.
run towards that and just fly in the air. And one kid got a dislocated shoulder from everyone landing on
Did you
it.
not have the end of
that
year
got
rumble
banned
as
in
well?
school, so we couldn't do it anymore. But it'd take one person to shout out bundles, and everyone would know where to run to.
The end of year rumble was a big thing as well. That was a fad where the year 10s used to fight the year 9s. And the end of the year, we all meet up on the field. It was like Braveheart. And we ran at each other and just beat the shit out of each other.
You are all pulling my leg. What the fuck?
Mate,
Bundles was great,
dude,
mate.
you were probably
I
sat
was
with the
particularly
Dungeons
good
and
at it.
Dragons kids going, we're not interested in this.
We just had
I mean, to be
bleeding,
fair,
bleeding knuckles and hands.
I mean, to be fair, I was in the Warhammer Club, so
There you go, that's what you were doing. We were outside scrapping, and look how ugly we are now. We're all disfigured. Apart from Biggie. Biggie must have won.
glad I didn't go to your schools.
I had
Christ.
quite a few of those.
Mate, Yorkshire were bad, man. They were like inter-school wars where we used to meet up with other schools and fight them on fields just because
Yeah,
we were
we-
from different schools.
Yeah, we did.
There was no logic to
We
that
had
at all,
schools.
was it?
It was
we
like
had
the
schools we
Hunger
don't get along
Games.
with because they're just in the town over.
Yeah.
So where we were, we didn't like the two closest towns, but collectively, two of our towns hated the other one more.
Yeah.
So you joined together against the other.
We had the absolute. It was like Battle of Helm's Deep. There were one school against another school, and then one week, the Catholic school turned up. Oh my god!
Honestly,
It was
when it
crazy.
came to playing rugby or football against those teams, it was fucking war. Against those schools, it was war.
Look to the hills at 4:30.
Yeah.
You will see us coming.
St. Joseph's are here.
Worthington High.
So, dear listeners, what you need to realise is that the fads in British schools in the 90s were violence and blood.
I feel sorry for his international
80s.
listeners because I bet the international listeners are a bit more wholesome. Do you know what I mean? But no, it was fucking tough in England. Very tough.
Not where I went to school. Fuck me. It's pretty easy where I went to school.
You probably went to a good school. That's why.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't.
Can we just get past this and do the socials now?
Yeah,
This
let's.
is all rather horrifying.
Yeah. So socials, you can find us at Modern Escapism. Sorry. You can find us on Twitter at Modern Escapism. On there, you'll find a link to all our episodes, socials, and Discord. If you have any comments, you can either tweet us or email us at modernescapismpod@gmail.com. We do gaming streams on twitch.tv/Modern Escapism. Oodles on Saturday night is going to carry on his Titanfall 2 campaign.
Yes, I am.
Mondays, Big E will carry on his Dark Souls. I don't know, how far away is he off now, Oodles, do you think?
Oh, it's not even halfway.
Oof.
No, it's not far off halfway though. We had some really good progress last
He hasn't
week.
got to Sens yet, has he? That's the halfway point.
He's just unlocked Sense.
Oh, well, yeah, you're halfway then, mate.
I was thinking you might be closer to the end.
No.
Oh, I wish I was.
And Wednesday, Gadget and I are playing something we've yet to decide yet. You'll probably know by the time this podcast comes out because we'll have played it by then. We finished
I
our
thought your last stream with It Takes Two
Oh,
was fantastic.
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
A Way Out. I tweeted out the wrong name of a game. We played A Way Out and we finished that in 2 streams, which was
Unexpected.
but not as unexpected as some twat coming in and ruining the end of the story for
I
us.
can't abide
That's a
it.
dick.
I can't abide
Nah.
it. Thanks for the
Just
guys
popped in our
that
stream.
jumped on it.
Popped in our stream, told us the ending.
Gave away the ending, yeah.
Yeah, and then it was just like, oh no, I didn't mean it. I was only joking. I was like, fuck off, bam.
I didn't think that kind of thing existed anymore. I remember when
Oh no, it still does.
I streamed
Yeah.
Resident Evil 6. I mean, luckily, I dodged a bullet. I streamed Resident Evil 6 and someone came and just spoiled the ending. I went, thanks, and then turned it
Yeah.
off.
like
Well, Gadget advised me when I did Dark Souls to put blind. I know it's not a good choice of words now, but to put a blind run at the beginning
Yeah.
to let people know
That's
that
that's what I do.
you've
yeah.
never done it before.
like the ending was fine. It wasn't a
Yeah.
massive spoiler, but it's still a spoiler. It could have been a huge spoiler for all I know.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that game. Weirdly enough, like
Yeah, it was very stupid game, but very, very enjoyable to play.
I do appreciate the people that jumped in on it as well and stopped.
Yeah, well, everyone did.
Yeah,
everyone in there was just
really
like,
nice.
why? So, the ending, I really like the way they did the ending, actually, like, to be fair.
We need to play It Takes Two, apparently.
Yeah, it's something we'll probably do when it comes down a bit in price. I think at this point we're thinking on maybe doing the Gears 5 DLC that was out, the Hive Busters one.
Apparently it's quite lengthy, so yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I might do that one, because I do want to play that, so it makes sense to do it in a co-op.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so next week we have Jo on with us. This is Candy Machine from our Discord.
Yes.
She is going to be our fourth character on Scorched Sheep. So she's going to be joining us next week, so all you listeners can get to know her and get to know her, basically. Oodles is going to probably put her through her paces with a load of questions.
Yes.
And Jo is a tattoo artist in real life, so what we're going to do next week is talk about body modifications.
Yeah.
So if you have any tattoos or body mods, I'd like to hear about what it is and your experiences, or if you don't and you're simply curious and you have some questions for Jo, then please write in. We'd also want to know what your favorite body mods in media are, though. What you just think is really, really cool. Like, even if you have no intentions to ever having a tattoo, what tattoos or body mods do you think are
Kiryu's
cool?
tattoos and Yakuza and stuff like that.
Yeah, or like maybe mods that they have in Cyberpunk that you think are cool like that. Yeah, so
having
we'd like to
razors attached to your forearms.
Which one of my profile pics someone's going to use for their arm? You know, it's just,
I'm already getting that back piece next week, mate. Don't worry about it.
So that's it. That's next week's show. And as ever, leave us a 5-star review.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And thank you for indulging us with our tangents this week, because when it comes to nostalgia, we do like to chat about it. And I think we've horrified Gadget enough this week. So
yeah,
we're going to leave you with this quote. Don't go looking for new fads and trends. Let them find you. Good night. Right. Let me just... I need to remove the veil of being drunk. Oh, God, I'm slurring my words already.
I don't think that had you covered in any way, mate.
I'm slurring already. The algorithms caught me on TikTok because it's just boobs. It's just boobs. That's not an Easter egg at the end either.
Well, you say that.
Yeah, we have been recording.
Let's get back on.